champagne, purple cups and 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 champagne, champagne.
Ladies and ugly men, welcome to Purple Cups and Champagne. I'm your host, Handsome Contreras.
What's going on, everybody? Security John Chetty, a.k.a. the Brown Pat Riley.
What's going on? It's Josh, FA the Product, Instagram, Twitter, all those social media platforms. That's my shtick, man. You know.
We'll get you to tweet one day.
No, I thought that you didn't want me to tweet anymore. I thought that was the thing now.
Yeah, once you tweet, that shit, it loses its allure.
Exactly. We reset the whole thing. So.
Well, you see who's at my left?
Just about to say.
My man Nick from Veterans Minimum.
Veterans Minimum.
Yes, sir.
Good, guys.
Thank you for joining us, Nick.
For real,
pleasure. I've been following it for a minute. Yeah, Shout out to my guy Steph for connecting this.
Yeah, man.
I've probably done like, no lie, like close to 2,000 podcasts.
That's wild.
Like episodes.
Yeah,
that's why I'm
your numbers are crazy.
Yeah,
and this is the first time that I'm outdoors, so I kind of got a semi right now. I'm a little horned up. You know, and we got these bottles in front of me.
Oh man,
I'm excited.
It's a little
breeze.
It's a little breeze.
I drink everything, bro. I'm white. Come on, man.
Well, Nick, thanks for joining us, man. It's a long time coming. We're a fan of the show.
Yes, sir.
And
thank you.
man, we see you out here grinding and stuff like that,
Let's get it popping.
Yeah, let's get it.
Get it popping. Get it. The whole.
And we just celebrated episode 100, and you're 101. So this is like a nice beginning of it's kind of like a new season right
now.
It's
a clinic on podcasts, episode 101. Let's go.
Hey,
I like that. I like that.
Man, you guys should pat yourselves on the back. That's a big accomplishment, man. Over 100.
This is coming from a guy.
I know a guy who just
this is like LeBron. This is like LeBron. LeBron got like mad points.
I remember my 100th episode 5 years ago.
Just cracked.
Playing on the junior Knicks, man. That counts too.
That
counts.
We just had
Everybody got to start somewhere.
Varsity just came to the JV game like, y'all doing good.
Right, I'm getting the vibe of this
appreciate
podcast. Nah, but all jokes aside, right? Like you saw, so I work in a lot of analytics on podcasting too, not just on my stuff. I work with this network, Blue Wire. So I do a lot of recruiting for new podcasters and all that shit. And one of the things I look for is like consistency. I'm struggling with that.
He's Greek. They can barely speak right English.
So that's one of the things I look at, man. And one thing that I always tell people on is like, especially with the pandemic, right? Like close to 2 million new podcasts started.
Wow.
Since March of 2020. And that's
discouraging.
But here's the thing, right? Like I think now on Apple it's like 3.5 million podcasts. I think like 1.8 million don't go past episode 20.
Wow.
Because you get discouraged. You don't get the
it's
numbers.
tough.
Yeah, no, it is.
Bro.
It is definitely.
So that's why I'm saying, you guys shitted on it right away when I was trying to put you over to use the I saw the belts in the apartment. But that's a real accomplishment, man. You guys should be proud of yourselves.
Thanks.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that, man. Well, thank you for joining us. Let's bring it in.
For real.
To Veterans Minimum from Cup of Champagne.
Yes, sir.
Do it. Oh.
Really good.
Not bad.
It is, right? What we got here?
Handsome, usually get like cheap shit for the guests, man. This is a special guest here, dog.
I obviously did not pay for this. This was brought to you by John Chetty.
Right?
There's a check that we're not seeing. Josh and I are not seeing. Obviously, we don't know where that's going.
My shit is as long as everyone is happy.
Champagne fund.
And he always says, "I'm going to take care of everybody. Everybody,
eventually,
everybody's going to get paid.
Everybody's going to feel good about themselves. You know
Even the old members, everybody's going to get paid."
I told E that last episode.
He lied
I
to
said,
his face.
your 2.6% is there, bro.
Nah, fucking with
Nah, he's getting 2.6%.
I know.
I'm just taxing him a little bit for all the bad Jets jokes.
So how did you, I guess, kind of get to it? How did you think about starting your own podcast? What was was it something that you and your friends, I know, as guys, we all talk about sports and we all, debate. That's all we do is debate music and sports all day.
That's why I left the group chat.
That's really why he left the group chat. And, if you want to tell us a little bit about your beginnings, that'd be great.
Yeah, bro. It kind of started the same way, right? One of my close friends, childhood friends, is Joe Santagato. He's a big podcaster, comedian, YouTuber, And he's been doing this since like Jenna Marble days and Dom Mazzetti, if you remember them. Like he's an OG.
Early 2000s.
That's right.
Yeah. He's like right when he got out of high school, he started recording us just like bullshitting videos, and then eventually he's turned into this like juggernaut media company that he has. So he always knew that I was into sports, and like I was always a sports dude in my friend group, and I still am, right? Like people come with like, "Yo, what'd you think of that trade?" Whatever. And then I mean, we'll get to it in a bit. Like when it comes to betting, like that was like, you know, I'm the truth when it comes to that. That's the one thing that I'll brag about. Like the most. Like, when it comes to sports,
I respect that.
Yeah.
So we're all gamblers here, so it feels good.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in good company. Yeah. It's like a fan reunion right now.
Yeah, man. So he got like 3 of us and was like, "Yo, I want to do this podcast." This was like 2014. We started bullshit blogging, like writing articles.
So hard.
Bro, I can't put a tweet together. If you want me to write an article, I'm not doing it. Like, I know my strengths.
I tried too. It's crazy you say that. I tried blogging so hard, dog.
I don't tweet.
Nah, like all through high school and college, I was a B- student with no effort to be better.
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, if I'm in the 80s,
You can
I'm
relate.
chill.
You've always said this. He's always said the same
bro.
shit.
65 is passing, 70 is mine.
B-, man. If I got 80s, my mom was happy. She wouldn't slap the shit out of me. That's all I needed. So I was always a sports guy, right? And he was like, yo, I want you to be on the show. I think there's something there with you, whatever. And then from day one, it was 2015. Labor Day weekend, we put out the NFL preview show. So I always treat the NFL preview show as the 1-year anniversary
Gotcha.
Dope.
for Veterans Minimum. And
Best
it's always
sport
like,
on earth.
yeah, it's always like Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, we just started doing it then. There used to be 4 of us, and one of my buddies jumped on and became a producer. I use the air quotes because, like,
We had one of those.
We were still no, but he would.
Yo, don't say Fai's name.
That's Teddy energy right there, right?
Yeah, I didn't say that.
One of the producers. That's Teddy energy.
Producer.
Shouts to my guy Impy, man, because he does a lot of the shows with me now too.
Nice.
But why I did the air quotes is because like he tried to produce the show and be like, yo, this is what's trending, this is what's popping. We'd be like, nah, we're not doing it. So like it was.
Oh, so you're the
like,
bad guys.
Yeah, we were the bad guys.
Alright.
He was like an actual producer. And
You
we
see
were
the
like, nah, we're not. Yeah, man. So we were doing that for a while. We'll pick up momentum, and then Veterans Minimum was what the show was, and then from there I started my own show. You'll get a kick out of this with the wrestling stuff. I called it Degeneration Bets.
Oh.
So that was like I was
love it.
recording.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
recording that twice a week
Yeah.
also, and that was more like all sports betting because I feel like there's sports and then there's sports betting conversations. So it's like a completely different animal. It's a whole different world.
Yeah, I agree.
So then that started picking up momentum. And then on top of that, another one of my friends was like, yo, I want to do a wrestling podcast. I was like, all right, these are 3 things that I do all the time. Wrestling, gamble, and sports. So I had...
Teddy.
Teddy,
Yeah, I know. Like,
brother?
yeah. Stephanos kept trying to keep us.
And yo, Steph was because he's all about Wu-Tang.
Yeah, wow. That's
Yeah.
that's
Yo,
that's
what
right.
the fuck is
Yeah.
going on here?
Yeah, it's my Greek brother.
I see.
Oh, looks like we need our own show now.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like I'm being set
Yo,
up right now.
I feel like I'm gonna show up here and you guys gonna be shooting already. Like, oh shit.
Cousin friend is over.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
So
man.
I would just get good feedback. Like fans started gravitating to me. I'd get, I'm a shooter, dude. Like I'd rather hear no than not try.
Yeah.
Like with everything.
Yeah.
Love it.
So
Pisces gang.
Yeah. So I would just like reach out and I'd get good feedback. I do all these things on my own and whatever. And I was like, damn, yo, there's something here for me. Like I think this shit is dope. I love doing it. It's all I think about. And then over time, like I took it over because my friends, like life just got in the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one got married. He wanted to start a family. The other one got a promotion in his real job. He couldn't commit to those days. The other one was like, I just don't want to do this shit no more.
Yeah.
And then my other friend was Joe, and he was like, yo, I kind of want to focus on my thing. I
Yeah.
was like, yo, I love doing it. I'll just like buy you guys out or whatever it is. We had a Patreon. We still do.
Gotcha.
And yeah, man, I just took it over. And at the time I was kind of stressed out because I was like, damn, are people gonna still fuck with the show because of me or whatever? But it's like I just weather all storms.
Yeah.
Like with everything.
Yeah, of course.
And then
By the way, I didn't make up the Pisces thing. His birthday is March 11th.
No, I believe you, bro.
March 11th.
Why would you just out of nowhere?
Ask him like right away. What's your sign?
You don't play those games. Not with horoscopes. He's pretty serious about that.
I know what it's like. Just keep going.
Listen, I remember you guys had the show. You guys had some segments where you would actually go on the streets and ask people like, "Yo, do you care about the Super Bowl, or do you know the Super Bowl's happening?" which was pretty funny because they were acting like the hot dog man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yo,
hot dog was like, "I didn't even know it was tonight."
That's dope. Yeah.
And there was people that were going. Then you found Boston people. I found a couple of those guys.
Yeah.
That was all Impy, the one that we said was the producer.
Okay.
Is the truth on the camera. He'll go up to anybody. He don't give a fuck.
No, he really didn't care.
He's the man, yo. And he does that now with my boy Joe.
Shouts to him, man.
He's the truth. That's my favorite guy to podcast with. I've probably done the most episodes with him because he was doing D-Generation Bets with me. Yeah. And now, too, he's getting back involved with the show, too, because he's like, yo, I want to, like, create content. I was like, bro, where else are you going to go, dude?
For
sure. Where'd the name come from?
I can't tell you who came up with the name, but it was one of the original members because we came up with some bad ones, bro. Like, situational lefties. We're like, well, we don't want to talk only baseball. Like, that kind of narrows us down.
Right.
Their first thing was beige and brown. Like, I was like, what? What is that?
What? It's not beige and brown.
Yo, I got some bad ones, too, bro.
Like, these guys are sick.
We were... this is horrible. I don't think I've ever told this one, too. We were calling ourselves BLT.
Oh, wow.
What does this stand for?
My one friend, his nickname is Boss. Then it's Lamb. Terrible. Everyone calls me Lamb. And then Tim.
No, that's a Greek joke, right? The lamb joke?
Yeah. Everyone calls me Lamb because I'm Greek. I'm Greek Easter and shit. So, situational lefties. The other one was like Corner Trey, which I think is like a Ringer podcast name now. It's like Corner Threes.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But we're like, yo, Veterans Minimum is dope because it doesn't pigeonhole you in one sport. Like, I would get, I don't want to say heat, but I would get like advice from people with bigger platforms like, man, you should only talk about New York sports. I'd be like, yeah, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to just talk about one. Like, I like Veterans Minimum. It's a sports term. Guy is 38 years old, want to chase a ring. He signs for the VM. And then it pops up on Twitter as though fans tag me like, oh, shit, the Veterans Minimum. Yo, make sure, where's my cut of
the Tracy McGrady special.
Yeah. Right? Like, it just and it applies to all the sports.
Right, of course.
So it was more broad. And that was the thing with me, man. Like, I always thought about it like, how can I get on Bill Simmons? How can I get on Rogan? How can I get on McAfee now? It's like, just talking about the Giants, like, yeah, maybe a segment on ESPN, but like, nah, man, I want to be able to talk to people I find interesting, and that's how I go about my show. Like,
and also, when we win more than 4 games a season, they will have more to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, when we start winning 4 games a season.
Also,
you're talking about yourselves. Yeah. Well, coming soon.
I mean, you guys won 3 last year, right?
We have the better team. Yes?
We'll be the team that went to the Super Bowl.
We'll get into that later.
Go further.
Okay. I will tell you about the bet that we have, too, as well. We have a good bet.
Yes,
we have a good bet. But
let's not go that route. I apologize. This is a New York sports podcast, guys. All New York sports teams are welcome except the Nets.
Are the Nets actually a New York sports team? Really? Are they really?
No, they're not.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair.
There you go. There you go. That's it.
You belong.
When you play home games and 70% of the people in attendance are rooting for the other team, you ain't from there, bro.
I go to see LeBron. That's the only reason I ever used to go to see the Nets in Jersey.
Yo,
the only time I go to see them in Brooklyn. So if I want to see
it's
the
a
other
nice
player
area.
play, and Barclays, good restaurants. It's good restaurants around
and
there.
Barclays is just a really nice arena.
Yo, one of the biggest bets I made this year was Game 3 Celtics Nets. Celtics were like a 3-point underdog. I was like, bro, there's gonna be like 70% Celtics fans. Like, that's not a home game.
Yeah.
They travel to Golden State.
Yeah, like,
you think they're gonna travel to Brooklyn?
Exactly.
Boston is one of the public teams. Like, they get they like not corrupt, but they like inflate the point spreads. Right, like you hear in the NFL, it's the Steelers, it's the Packers, the Cowboys. Yeah. You know what I mean? These big historical 5-decade-long fan bases.
Yeah. Right.
And bro, Boston's what, 3-4 hours away?
Yeah.
And what it was, let's go Celtics. And that's what have the ball. It was like, that was a good night. That was definitely a good night.
You ever run into like issues of just putting out consistent content, or you're just more or less? I think you kind of covered that with the whole. You cover more than New York sports, right? So, I mean, do you ever run into like? Is it like right now? It's off season. It's baseball. You know what I mean? Is this like a rough time right now, or are you trying to? What are you trying to do? You trying to find other things to talk about? This NBA off season is sometimes better than the regular season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
it just kicked off. It just started getting hot right now.
Right. Yeah. As we speaking.
Right. You're right.
Right. Do you ever run into trouble finding consistent content?
Dude, I've missed one episode in let's just say 7 years, and it was when one of my friends passed away that week.
R.I.P.
So
R.I.P.
Rest in peace, man. But
how often do you have episodes though?
Twice a week.
Oh shit.
Twice a week. Occasional 3. Some wild trade goes down and someone gets injured, or someone says some wild shit. It's like, emergency episode. But for the most part, it's like 2 a week. I try to hit 100 a year is like the landmark I try to aim for. And I always surpass it, but just like worst comes to worst. So
100 a year. You guys got 105.
That was nice. That was a nice little thing you guys did there.
That's awesome, man. No, that's.
But one of the reasons why I don't find difficulty is because of what you said, man, about like not being just a baseball podcast or NBA podcast. Right. And I think the vibe to your show also could allow you to do that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're not really pigeonholed in one thing, and that's a big part, man. That's big on like flexibility. When the pandemic first hit, I did like a lecture for Blue Wire, like the network. They were like, "Yo, I'm categorized as a general podcast."
Okay.
Because like
So you're part of Blue Wire as a podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. So I'm not just football. I'm not just basketball. I'm under general. So with that, eventually, when you build up a following, you build up an audience. And like my podcast does better than the following that I have. So like you look at my following, I don't have any crazy numbers. I have like 4,000 to 5,000 people following on like 8 different outlets.
Okay.
So when I reach out to ad deals and shit or sponsors, I'm like, I got like 70,000 followers.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you don't. I was like, nah, man, everything together. Like,
right.
I tweeted on everything. You know what I mean? Like VM is me and I am VM.
Yeah.
So there's no like personal and business. Like, nah, this business is personal. You know what I mean? So I package it like that. So when the pandemic happened, like those first 6 weeks, I was still putting out 2 episodes a week.
Yeah.
And they were like, yo, how you doing it? What the fuck? I was like, yo, this is a layup for me. Like, I don't even want to look cool or anything. It's just, because of that. So, and over time, when you build up a following, now I do these podcast series called like Podcast and Chill. So when my audience sees that, they know that it's, let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about like.
That's what I wanted to ask you. That branching out, doing different topics. I like that.
Yeah.
Is that still revolve around sports in a way? Because you can still do that, obviously.
At its core,
sports is life. Bro.
Exactly.
I ask all the people on. My number one thing with my guests is if I can have a built-in connection with them, makes it better.
Of course.
As you guys would know, when you have someone that you're cool with, it just flows. It's a regular combo at the bar. And 2, they got to do something that I find interesting.
Yeah.
My favorite episode that I've ever done. I'm obsessed, absolutely obsessed with the Colombian cartel.
Okay. Super random fact.
Not random, right? But it'll all make sense. I've never done any drugs. I just like to drink. I've never tried weed, nothing. Not against it. If you're into it, that's your thing. It's cool.
Right.
So the reason why I say that is I had the real Narcos agents that took down Escobar that the Narcos documentary is based on on my show.
Oh, wow.
Javier Pena and Steve Murphy.
Crazy.
And I was like, I prepared fucking questions. Which is
Right. Gotcha,
but like what you asked me about sports, I was like, yo, were they really fucking banging out referees when they gave a penalty kick in the 90s? He's like, yeah, man. We had hits on coaches, and a player would leave Nacional to go to Cali and shit, and they'd be like, they'd steal his daughter and be like, nah, man, you ain't going. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
so
I like that.
I was
You
always,
like that? What the fuck, dog?
Well, he likes Colombians.
Yeah.
okay, respect, man.
I would put a hit on Jimmy Butler.
He never forgive.
That's why. Yeah, that's why you like. That makes sense.
Yeah, man. So like at its core, like we talked about soccer and how like that era of Colombia was like their most successful.
Yeah.
And then you have the '94 World Cup, which was in the States, and the dude dies when he goes back.
Yeah.
And that was Pablo Escobar's favorite player.
Yeah.
Because the dude's name was Andres Escobar, and he's like, yo, he always envisioned his name on the back of a jersey.
Right.
I was asking all these questions, and that's the most successful episode I've had from a
That is
download
fire, though.
standpoint.
That's fire, man.
Just everything, man. The videos still get hits on it to this day. I'm talking about like thousands of like views a week on that video, and that was April 2020.
You edit your show?
Wow.
I do everything.
Wow.
Dope.
Everything. I reach out to the guests. I do the ad reads. I do the bookings, the editing. I do have some guys that edit for me, but a lot of times is I have such a short turnaround where like I record Monday, I put it out Monday night. Or I record Thursday, I put it out Thursday. Now in the off season, because football, I was telling you as coming up before, football's probably my busiest time. So like this off season, I like experimenting. So I've recorded like 3-4 episodes because I'm going away in a couple weeks, where it's like talking about like jerseys and sneakers.
Okay.
And,
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
So it's already those I can send to my editors.
Yeah.
And they could do it.
Right.
But for the most part, it's like by the time I send the file and all that, and I've gotten so quick with the editing where I could do it in like 20 minutes. I could record.
Yeah,
And that's the beauty of sports is that because if it's a dry week, you could talk about who the top 10 quarterbacks in the 90s. You know what I mean? Top quarterbacks in the 2000s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can talk about how easy it is to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame or, stuff like that. So there's so much, there's a lot of content that you could talk about even, because, like All-Star Weekend is coming up for baseball. There's like nothing going on then. You know what I mean? There's no games, there's no Yankees, Mets, so that's good. That's good. You could definitely pivot to different things when it comes to sports.
And it makes a lot of sense to do that because those are like timeless topics almost. You can always find those kind of conversations almost like that are interesting, I guess, like your favorite jerseys or your
100%.
It's just the way you tie in.
Dude,
I guess
we have that conversation
exactly.
in our group chat when we say NBA jersey. We're like, NBA jersey in the 90s were like the fire.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody will say, no, well, in 2000s. We always
because technically that's like a fashion conversation.
100%.
If you think about it, a culture conversation.
Of course.
But obviously it revolves around sports. So that's a smart way to, I guess,
Dude, you know how
package
many
it.
topics I steal from my group chat with my boys?
Yeah. That's the right thing to do.
We dump it in our group chat. We be like, topic.
Yeah.
Topic.
They're like, damn, son, Lamb stealing our idea. Like, what the fuck? I was like, yo, come on the pod, bro. Let's talk about it. Fuck, I'll give you your flowers for it. No problem.
Nice.
For sure.
I think we try to shout out our guys whenever I take one of their ideas. Like I'll definitely shout them out if they
We
find
give
an
credit
article
where
for us.
credit's due. I don't think we've ever taken anything and not.
They'll
been
never
like,
see any money for this stuff, but
Yo,
they'll
no,
definitely,
no, they might one day.
They got
They're
the
gonna see that.
percentage coming, man.
You keep telling them that.
1.5%.
Honestly,
They're gonna see us shining and be like, "Yo,
if you didn't stick around,
it's coming. We haven't got paid
you're
yet."
gonna get something, but I can't give you a full share like what we're gonna get.
Nah, but you know what you could do for them, man? What I like to do is I like to give them experiences. Like, I'll give them tickets to games from a sponsor that I don't want to go to that game. I'll be like, yo, you want to go to this Ranger game?
Yeah.
I'll be like, yo, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay.
but I do it to the guys that come on the show often.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
You know, the biggest thing for me, man, is I want to know that I try to hit my days. So what I mean by that is, like, there's always going to be a pod on Monday and Thursday, right? And I don't care what time you come on Monday. You got to come on Monday, though. So, like, when they give me their time, I'm like, yeah, it's nothing. I went to Vegas in March with my boy, Boss, who used to be on the show. And, like, yeah, he bailed on the show at one point, but he comes on now for UFC all the time.
Nice.
He just didn't want to do it then. And
we're open to whoever wants to come. We've brought our
we
past
always do.
guests
Yeah, we always bring
on
the guys
show.
back.
Yeah.
They still come on. Like even on our 100th episode, they came.
They were
to
rolling in and out.
support.
No, I know. I saw the
Yeah.
videos and shit, man. I wish I would have done a pod before then so I could pull up to that.
Facts,
you know, my
for
invite was, I don't know where it was.
He's the curator.
The next 100th episode
We got you at 200.
in 2 years.
Nah, we're not doing 2
I'm
years.
fucking
That's
over
it.
it.
They put the fire.
You should zoom in on my face after you said, my episode like 10,000. I was like, oh,
All of us put our head down. All of us like,
I ain't for 100 a year. You know, I always like eclipse it, but it's a goal that I go for. That's fire,
nah, really, honestly, that's inspiring. To be honest with you, I know we're fucking around, but it really is inspiring.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Man.
One of the things that happened this week that I'm happy that we have you on the show. You saw the thing with Russell Westbrook and Skip, where they were kind of like, I think he called him Westbrick or whatever. A lot of the times that people get mad with Skip, and a lot of people, I see a lot of comments when he's very polarizing figure. They'll say that, well, you never played ball, or either call him Water Pistol Pete and stuff like that. Like Jalen Rose called him that.
I love that.
So how do you
Water
feel,
Pistol Pete Jr.
How do you feel about like athletes like just straight up telling guys that like analysts, right? Or people that talk about the game that say, well, you never played, so you don't understand. Like, and then there's also like have you ever heard athletes broadcast? They're trash. Like Chris Webber, R.I.P. He fucking sucked on TNT.
Wait, why?
Chris
No,
Webber's
R.I.P.
dead?
No, because Chris dead. You know
Oh.
what I mean?
My God.
Yeah, just see on our face.
No, Chris Webber.
Did I miss that during
During
COVID?
His career died.
He's one of my favorite Nas
Yeah.
producers, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he did do that.
Exactly.
Yes, he did.
He gave Nas like 3 fire tracks in
He
his
did.
life.
He did. That's pretty impressive.
And you're someone who talks about sports and talks about like your Jason Tatum breakdown like a couple weeks ago. That was excellent.
Yeah.
But like you can see somebody saying, well, you don't play in the NBA, so you can't talk about that. You know what I mean? So how do you feel about guys that do that?
Well,
Especially NBA players and NFL players and stuff. Yeah,
First of all, with Skip Bayless, you got to understand that's the godfather of hot takes.
100%.
He invented the
debates.
hot take era, the screaming at one another. Like you got to show that man respect. I know someone that runs his social media or ran his social media, and when he would tweet out something and he saw the engagement, he would just run with that.
You seen that
Gotcha.
Skip Bayless
That
post
was-
on social media with the sneakers with the Jordans?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can't lose in these shoes.
Yeah. So I'm just shouting out the social media person, because honestly,
that's fire. Yeah,
exactly.
Here's the thing, right? No one's ever told me about like, oh, you never played whatever, because like, oh no shit, I didn't play. I'm a 5'10" white guy. Like I didn't play fucking professional sports.
Right.
So now what I say to people, because I've had that interaction with a player that played in the NFL, and not Will Blackman, by the way. That's my guy. I did a podcast with him. He used to play for the Giants, so I don't want someone to hear that and be like, oh, it was Will. Like, nah, that's not Will. That's my guy. Just had to put that out there. But there was another guy when I met him out there. He's like, oh, what's this kid talking about? He never played football.
Yeah.
And I was just like, bro, you don't know nothing about sports betting, and you talk about it. Like, I was like, and he got pissed because I was like, yo, I do jiu-jitsu, right? I was like, yo, I got a 3rd-degree black belt in sports betting. I was like, this is your first time taking the class.
Yeah.
So I was like, the way you say that there's levels in the NFL of like, you played in one. I was like, and he didn't like this. I was like, yo, I know more sports betting than you know about football, and I don't even think it's debatable.
Yeah.
Right? And he was just like blown away, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, those conversations, it is what it is. There's some people that are sports athletes that are on TV that are amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love Ryan Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Clark's awesome.
Is
right.
dope as hell.
Right.
I like
him. I don't love him.
I like Steve Kerr before he went into coaching. Steve
and
Kerr
he was
awesome
great.
too.
Yeah,
I think Reggie Miller is dope.
Tony Romo.
Romo is fantastic.
I know it's hard for you guys to admit, but I'm serious. Tony Romo.
I give him his flowers.
Yeah.
I give him his flowers. Like, he never beat us, you know what I mean? So I give him his flowers.
Like, he's smart. But
when he's
that's the only reason you can give him his flowers.
But when he's calling plays before it happens, like, come on,
pretty
man.
impressive,
It's incredible.
He's teaching us honestly as well.
Yeah, I think it's a fun dynamic when you have the play-by-play guy who's a former athlete and you have the color guy. Like, you can't have.
Also makes Skip and Shannon so good to watch.
Exactly.
The Mets booth.
Right.
That was what I was saying, honestly.
All day,
Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling,
because,
and Gary Cohen.
What Shannon gets is that they say, well, you played football, so you can't be talking about the NBA. And he's like, yo, I'm like an NBA like addict. Like, I watch the NBA. You know what I mean? And whether you agree with his takes or not, it's kind of like, is anybody going to tell Greg Popovich he don't know about basketball? Because I don't remember him averaging 30 a game.
That's what I was going to say.
Because he could be the greatest coach. You know what I mean?
And that's a way.
Spo was a fucking he definitely didn't play basketball. A video guy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And now they lost LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, and they were in the finals and the conference finals. So
Man,
none of us are.
There's a lot of scouts, GMs who never played the game.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to play the game in order to know the game. Yeah, exactly. Just because
we're not actors, and we all shit on Denzel. You know what I mean? So.
That's facts.
Yeah, like it's.
Fuck, it's not like I have an acting degree.
What? I just feel like people, especially athletes, because they have a lot of ego and stuff, they respond that way. I don't think that's right at all, but they respond that way just because they're so sensitive about the topic and they don't know how to respond to people like Skip who make good points.
That's
and they
their first
the game. Exactly. So it's like a defense mechanism.
Well, to me, I think that's when you admit defeat.
Yeah, I agree.
So at that point, it's like, well, you guys are probably going to agree because you're Met fans. Like, you ever argue with a Yankee fan, you talk about like this year's team is a bad example because they're actually nasty.
I hate when they do that. I'm a Yankee fan.
I remember a couple years ago, I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but I follow the Mets, right? And I remember a couple years ago when the Yankees signed Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I paid that much money, and DeGrom shits on him. Yeah. They're like, yeah, bro, but fucking 27 rings.
27, yes.
That got nothing to do with Garrett Cole. I hate that shit.
That's what I'm talking about.
You can afford it.
I mean, that got nothing to do with what we're talking about. We're talking about this team right now.
Oh my God, man! If you weren't staying up late and watching 96, 97, and all those like series when the Yankees were popping, like. I don't want to hear it from you. I don't want you talking about I don't talk about Babe Ruth. I didn't see Babe Ruth play. You know what I mean?
Yo, so let me ask you guys a question because I had a very interesting debate about this, and it had to do with hockey. Right? We use hockey as like the core.
None of us watch hockey.
I know but that's good though. Okay. This is exactly why this is a perfect question to ask. The Rangers go on this run and they go all the way to the conference finals, right? And a lot of people are tweeting about like, no quit in New York, and a lot of casuals are like watching the games, right? Are you cool with that? If you guys are Met fans, right? Let's say all of a sudden your boy that shits on baseball all the time, he got the jersey.
Shout out to Edgar.
He got the word. Shout out to Edgar.
Exactly what it is.
I don't even know who Edgar is, but we know
it's the same shit. Don't talk about baseball. Right? And the Mets in the World Series, they with the jersey.
He's wearing the jersy. They're in the World Series, right? How do you feel about that?
Well, he's an exception because he's
for me,
nah. But generally, no. I don't. You want to answer this or first?
No, you go.
I was gonna say like it's not as enjoyable for me. Like I find I don't like when my teams are that popular for that reason. Almost sometimes I don't like when they get that popular. Like when the Mets did make it to the World Series. What was it? 2012, 2013, 15.
Yeah, everybody came out the fucking like the groundwork. Like, oh, yeah,
exactly,
Batman fan.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, to be honest with you, around those times, like I'm talking about, and you know this, I dedicated like a lot of time to watching like minor league players and the come up and all of this kind of shit.
This is my scout.
And then a lot of people just afterwards just being like, oh man, like the Mets, they finally. I mean, you know how it was. People were just like, yo, the Mets, Queens, and it's like, yo, Queens doing. And it's like, yo, bro, nah. I don't want all you guys to be here with me while I'm celebrating something that means so much to me. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Can I answer this as well?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so.
He's asking all of us.
Here's my answer. No, because you guys are Mets fans. So I'm
asking. Jet fans come out of the woodworks this year.
Well, there you go. Because if you're not like I'm like a Giants fan, we've had like a lot of bad seasons, right? But if you're not living and dying with me on Sundays, right? I'm okay with you showing up to the parade. I'm fine with that, right? But I don't want you telling me, yo, if Saquon did this, I'm like, I haven't heard you talk about Saquon all year. I'm cool with you. You could come at the parade because we need bodies. We need to fill up. We need to fill up the city. But then I don't want you telling me because I know I'm watching every Sunday, and I know that like as a Met fan, you can try to catch as many games as you can. Yankee fan, I do too. Yeah. And I'm like, and then don't judge Sevy. You know what I mean? When I know like I'm watching Sevy every day, and I'm knowing what he's doing, what he's not doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that I don't want to hear from you. You know what I mean? And that happened with the Rangers. Because my boy had an extra ticket. He goes, yo, you want to go? And I was like, yeah, sure. I haven't watched hockey since like back like in the maybe like the late '90s, and I remember being there. I was like, yo, it was a dope experience, but I wasn't there telling him, yo, man, why didn't the goalie do? Why didn't he do this? Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna ask. I'm like a dick.
You see, I don't got a problem with that. If you were like genuinely interested, like, yo, why did he, not shoot there? Whatever.
Right, but criticizing though, being like, yo, he sucks. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like,
you don't understand why he sucks.
Igor is awful.
That's what I'm
saying.
Yo,
he's trash. Like, yo, he's the best goalie in the league. Like, you're not watching that.
Right. There you go.
How about you?
I don't know. Because honestly, let's say like myself, right? I'm a Timberwolves fan. Okay. Nobody likes the Timberwolves. So if they were getting better and then I had like some support, I'm going to be like, yo, finally, people are seeing the same thing as me. But I am, look, I'm going to be tight at that point because now if I start seeing everybody be especially in New York.
You wasn't there with Isaiah Ryder and me?
I'm like, bro, this is since 93, 94, bro.
You were with Goops?
Yeah, you weren't crying with me when Steph left and did us dirty. Like, a lot of these things that happen, so I would feel that way, but it would also give me some, satisfaction to be like, damn, I ain't alone out here. Because it's lonely, bro.
It is a balance. I was going to say, though, because I have a cousin that's a Jet fan, and he shits on the Jets all the time because he thinks it's funny.
He's not a Jets fan.
That's our problem. How can you shit on your own team? He's one of those, like,
You know why? Here's the thing.
Drake's
You're a Giants fan, right? You'll shit on Giants with Giant fans, right? But if there's a couple of Jet fans around, and their main MO is, like, to come at the Jets, you're not going to be like, yo, we really suck. We're doing this and that. You're going to taper like, yeah, we're not that good right now, whatever. It's not, but you keep it to yourself. This guy will literally shit on his own team around fucking two Giant fans that want nothing more than to have some ammo.
Because, like, in our group chat, it's, like, split down the middle. But then, like, we have, like, a side group chat saying, yo, we're fucking terrible. We only scored one touchdown in 3 weeks. You know
That's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We're like,
that's like talking shit about your family in front of strangers.
And I don't want to celebrate with that guy. That was my point. He's a Jets fan.
He's bad.
I don't want to celebrate with him. When we start winning, I don't want to.
Even when I was still in the group chat and he would make comments about the Jets, I would put a clown face.
Yeah, that's what you would do.
I found so many clown memes, clown gifs every time.
You have the shit waiting?
Yeah. I've been dropping the clown shit all the time, so I respect it.
I think clown and a juice box, so clown juice every single time, bro.
Clown juice.
Yo, no lie, I feel like there's no wrong answer here. Because I take a little bit of everything because I like the embrace. Like I'm a big soccer fan, right?
Okay.
So when like USA is playing or if there's a dope ass soccer game, I like it when people embrace the sport. Like I'm into it. I also love the UFC. So when I love bringing friends to fights for the first time and never been there, and then they're hooked. Yeah. They say the UFC has the highest retention rate of any sport coming up. So like
makes sense.
That's impressive. I didn't know that.
If you take 10 people that have never watched any sport, you bring them to a bar, they watch a game. The UFC has the highest rate of fans going back to watch it again.
Yeah.
Right, because it's fighting, right? Right now, we live in such a PC world; you can't do nothing.
Right. And that's the core too of human entertainment.
Also in UFC, there is no like well, your promoter has to talk to my promoter. There's one promoter.
Yeah.
That's why.
There's one Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And you have to wrestle, but you have to fight this guy because he's the number one contender. Not like, and I love Floyd, but he waited 5 years to fight Pacquiao.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is none of that. So
You know how many girls are fans of UFC, bro?
Yo, it's crazy.
That shit is
You know how
amazing.
many
I didn't know
girls
that
at
either.
UFC fights? It's
Bro,
fucking
Didn't know
insane,
that.
bro.
It's dope, man.
I'm out the loop.
It's dope.
I didn't know that.
I know.
I only know because
You're a good man.
I
I know because you're a good man. Because you're a
Yo,
good man.
women fights might be better than men fights too. It's the one sport
Yeah,
where like
they
when they
do have
put
good
women
fights,
on the card, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a fucking banger. I can't wait for that shit.
When Ronda was like at
Yeah.
her peak, like she had like they were saying like she had like Mike Tyson vibes when she walked down.
Yeah,
Like
dude,
they would
she
be
was-
like, yo, like she's gonna like destroy somebody.
It
You
was
know
a
what I
big
mean?
deal when, you know.
Until Holly Holm, right? But at the same time, it's like
Acting killed the career.
that Entourage movie
yeah,
killed
man.
it.
Yo,
Bunch
when
of
you
shit.
start-
She start
when you
doing
start
movies
making-
left and right.
When you go Hollywood, basically, you just try to, start being about the money
Bro,
and shit.
why not, man?
You lose focus.
At that point, Connor, the same shit.
Yeah.
What was that Hagler line? It's like you can't wake up at 5 a.m. when you're waking up in like silk pajamas or something.
Marvin Hagler. Yeah.
I fucked up
That's
the
dope.
quote,
Nah,
but
that's
people know
dope.
about it. It's
You
like,
saw
yo,
what happened to
I
Rocky in
need
Rocky
that
3?
Yeah.
He got soft.
That's true.
He was training with Bubbles.
Bro, Connor made $100
Dude said he a
million
rapper,
with
so
Mayweather, right?
Right.
And then he also launched Proper 12.
Proper
It's like,
number 12.
Dude was the highest paid athlete in the world.
Yeah,
son.
yeah.
That's Ronaldo. That's Messi. The
He's the most
tennis
popular by
dudes.
far, so of course.
And
yeah.
it's like, yo, you want him now to go fight for $5 million? Nah, it's a different motivation.
Because when he
bro.
fought Floyd and then he make like $100 million off the fight or something like that,
Yeah,
like endorsements and all that stuff, like how
Yeah.
can you go back to, that's just either like passion and love or, just talking shit.
He got his ass whooped and left that fight better. Because people are like, yo, you went 9 rounds with Mayweather. And
Yeah.
Max Kellerman was like, yo, he's not going to even land one punch. And then he actually, like,
He
I
let
didn't
some
think he
shots.
would.
yeah, a lot of people did.
We
We watched that shit at B-Man's crib, actually. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. He let us some shots.
He did.
Talking about going for the money. We had our brunch banter question this week.
Yes.
All right, so it's all about the money.
This was a fun one.
Question this week was brought to you by Jonathan Chetty.
This is a good one. This is a good one.
In case he was trying to hide it and throw it on me.
Right, because like no girls answered.
Yo,
like
that
no
was so
girls
unexpected.
answered. And then when dudes were putting like specific girls, I was just like, dogs, like I have to post this girl now. You know what I mean? I posted the most clothes. You know what I mean?
Well, the question
tried,
was
you tried.
fling or ring. So Chetty wanted to know. His main question was, yo, if you had the chance, if they told you your favorite girl in the world, she could be a celebrity, she could be a regular human being, she could be whatever she is. She could be a he, apparently, in this world now. Would you take her and $100K for a full season? Or your favorite team, and a lot of us have favorite teams in this city that don't win, getting the chip that year?
And Nick, before you answer, I'll tell you guys how I kind of came up with this this topic. Is because when we would be sitting around just having drinks, we would just say like stupid shit. We'd be like, yo, either somebody in your family gets killed or you got to kiss a guy. We'd be like, well, my cousin dead. That's exactly.
Yo, I killed my mom off.
That's
Bad
exactly.
time, bro.
How many times we would just be like, yo, just chilling, like, yo, we're watching the game, and somebody would just say some random shit like, yo, man, so cousin so and so gets killed, or you got to kiss a guy. Well, R.I.P. to the homie.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So that's how this came about.
Nothing against our gay population.
Yo, it's-
Personal preference.
Real
Yeah.
quick, what's funny
We
about
just don't
that?
kiss guys.
What's funny about that is I got one friend in particular, and I'm not gonna mention no names, but he knows who this is. We
He's
send
the
each
guy.
other like girls on Instagram, like
Okay.
we'll send them their pages and whatnot, and we'll say dumb shit like, "Yo, I'd let her slap my mom." I'd be like, "Yo, bro, if she came up to you and was like, yo, you can't talk to Lamb ever again." He'd be like, he'd hit me up and be like, "Yo, I don't understand." Like, shit like that, you know what I mean? So when I saw this
amazing.
question, I
That's
was
funny.
dying.
Because he used to do the
I
same
was
shit when we were
dying.
younger.
Josh, when somebody came up to you, you
we're
gotta
not going to be cool forever, dog.
You
You got to
gotta
be a
wear-
girl I'm going to fall in love with, man.
you gotta wear Jesus sandals for the rest of your life.
Yo, dog.
Okay, yeah.
Fuck
sneakers.
So wait, you want to start with me with this here?
No, we'll start with Nick because
Okay.
we got. No, you didn't answer, but we'll start with Nick, and then we'll go around. We'll go around the table.
Yeah, that works.
I personally think this question's a layup.
Okay.
I am 100% taking the ring.
Okay.
Like, no, yo, I need a banner for all my teams. Like,
Yeah.
and mind you, I've been to both Giants Super Bowls. Like, I've been to them.
Yeah.
I've been to 10 Super Bowls.
You been to the actual Super Bowl?
Yeah, the actual
Wow.
Super Bowl.
That's amazing.
My
That's awesome.
my pops got a
That
coffee
is.
truck
Not
in
gonna
the
lie.
city for
Yeah.
like 28 years, 49th Park. The NFL offices
Shout out
used
to
to be
them.
there.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Oh.
Tony's Breakfast.
That's
And we used to
awesome.
get tickets all the time.
That's awesome, man.
So, to me, yeah, like, without a doubt, bro. because that lasts forever. Like, yeah, you know, your fling is cool and the 100K. I also feel like the money's gonna come. Like,
Spoken like a true Mets and Knicks fan.
Yeah. And yo, the Knicks aren't even my favorite like team. My number one team is the Giants, right?
Yeah. Knicks
are probably second, but like, bro, there's not a team in the world. I mean, the whole fucking planet.
I see it like you.
That if the Knicks were to win a championship, people would riot.
No, this city can't handle this.
And, yeah, they wouldn't. And like, yo, the cops would pull up and be like, down with it.
Yeah,
like,
the Knicks fans.
They've been suffering too.
You saw when Side Talk, shout out to them, they recorded the Knicks going over 500. Son. Or when they beat Boston in game one.
In game one, and Bing Bong was like the number one trending thing. Like,
yo.
Everyone knows Bing Bong.
I mean, it was like a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a year ago, but almost.
I was at a Yankee game, right?
Yeah.
They won on a walk-off hit. We're walking out, and they're yelling, fuck Trey Young.
Yeah.
Fuck Trey Young. I was like, well, hold on, what?
Fuck them.
If they want to be playing the Braves or nothing like that, it has nothing to do with this.
And it's crazy because that's off of one playoff run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One recent playoff
imagine
run,
a championship.
Exactly.
To me, it's the ring, bro. Like, I love, to this day, even though the Giants are bad, like, my Monday and Tuesday is like, fuck, man, how'd they lose to
see, I don't even watch ESPN on Monday.
So it's like, I feel the same way. For me, it's the one thing, sports are crazy, bro. It's the one bad relationship you could be in, and, like, you never leave it.
Yeah.
1,000%.
For real.
Like, it's true. For as bad as the Mets might be, we can't tell you, like, not root for the Mets, bro.
That won't happen.
But, like, if you have a girl and, like, she's a little crazy, not saying you're a girl.
Yeah.
I'll divorce my wife.
Yeah, right? Like, you'll divorce your lady before you would divorce
the Mets. That's not
the
a question.
Yeah,
Shout out to Brenda, but she knows that.
Any real sports fan is like, yeah, that's an obvious take.
Exactly.
Mark Cuban said that he would divorce his wife before he let Luka Doncic go to another team.
She understood.
She
knew the rules. Yeah, she knew the vibes.
bro.
I also want to mention my number one chick in the world is, you guys know Money Heist?
No.
The show Money Heist?
No. I've heard of it. I know what the show is. I don't know the show.
I think I know the girl you're talking about, though. I don't know the show, but I know.
Her name is Tokyo in the show.
They mentioned her.
Number one. She's on my wall, son. I have a wall of a bunch of, like, paintings done in the studio. She's up there. It's my favorite show of all time.
Oh, yeah?
I don't got no tattoos. I want to get the Dolly mask, half Dolly mask, half Stone Cold.
Okay.
I'm going to get it soon by the end of the summer.
That is fire. That sounds dope.
And I love her, son.
Yeah.
She can slap my mom.
You guys check it out for me. Let me know.
I'll let you know.
I'm fucking with you.
I'll let you know. I'll get you the deets.
I'm allowed to look at some girls online.
every Wednesday. Every Wednesday.
Delete my history.
Listen, I'm with you, man. Like, I'm taking the ring. I'm a Mets, Jets, and Timberwolves fan. And then football is my favorite sport on earth, right? Like, the Jets are my number one team no matter what happens in life. Been a fan since I was 9 years old. Been in pain forever and a day. That's 3 decades. So I look at it like the Jets, and it was tougher for me when I started thinking, I'm like, well, the Jets are kind of there right now.
Yeah, I was going to say right now, they're on their way. You don't have to take that bet.
We got the unlimited fucking budget.
I promise you we didn't smoke before the show.
Yeah,
but the
I don't know if I would
Timberwolves
say that right there, but, continue.
I'll see.
The Timberwolves have no chance of winning, ever.
No, Anthony Edwards is nasty, man.
He
is.
is,
telling you, yo.
And
he's a good actor.
No, I'm going to have
he killed
the
that
gap
movie.
to get to that level of a
It's
championship
so
NBA
insane.
team is so, you have to be a top 5. You have to have a top 5 guy.
In this era?
He's going to be there. He's going to be there.
Anthony Edwards is going to be a top 5 guy.
Maybe top 10.
I don't know.
He's
No, he's top 5.
man.
He's to me personally, he's already top 10.
No, people are saying that he's going to be MVP candidate.
It's crazy.
I don't know how we always bring it
Anthony
back to the
Edwards
Timberwolves.
You know what? Honestly, I don't want to sidetrack too much. I'm just gonna say my opinion.
I love you, KG.
Feel how you feel?
Yeah.
I just feel like guys like him at his size, he could be like a Bradley Beal level type player. But I feel like MVP players have to be like bigger even. They have to be like small forwards and power forwards and shit like that for the most part. You have point guards who do it, but like that's why it's so tough for Steph Curry to be an impact player. Because because those guys can guard all 5 positions a lot of times and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, a 2 guard.
That's
really
what KG
can't.
created.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. A 2 guard is really tough to have that level of impact, I feel. That's why the best players in the NBA are usually small forwards. Like you have to have, I think, like a really, really, impact small forward, power forward. Something
Even
like
more
that.
reason
That's
why
how
I take
feel
the
about
ring.
it.
Yeah, there you go. So I have a good
that's a good
choice.
take, bro. I like that.
I'm never gonna see the Timberwolves win a ring. Personally, I know
It's tough.
right? So
in NBA is tough.
At this point, yes, that is my option.
I feel like it's the toughest in the NBA. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, so what I'm gonna pick is obviously the ring. I have my dream girl, man. Come on, you just told me.
I like that.
You gotta cut this clip.
Yeah. And it was her birthday the other day, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to Brenda.
His iPhone's on record, so she could get the voice note ahead of time.
I'm gonna read.
I'm
gonna read off.
He's not being real right now.
I'm gonna read off some good ones.
Read off something that one of our friends wrote. That
I'm gonna read off some good ones, right? I need my team winning a chip. I already make $100K, and my dream girl is probably already damaged goods. And whoever works on social media, put Jennifer Lopez. Like, yo, come on, guys, be better.
That's how I feel about Rachel McAdams, bro. That's my dream
Our
girl.
intern, man.
Be better, dog. Be better.
Our intern.
That's good.
And our interns are female.
If you're a Mets fan, pick Bread and the head, or go Roe versus Wade yourself. You selfish shit face.
You are correct. Yes. You are correct. Fucking retroactively abort yourself.
We had some really good ones.
Retroactively abort. You're really big on that.
Give me money every time. A lot of people want the money. A lot of people want the money, and they want a specific girl. I won't say who this.
But you gotta understand, most of these people
amazing.
are probably Yankee fans and Giant fans.
That's true.
right. So
I'm getting
chips.
to that with the Knicks fans. The Knicks fans are hurting. You know,
Knicks fans are taking the ring.
Our Knicks fans, Purple Cup and Champagne fans, they're hurting. Like everybody's like, yo, end of 47-year drought.
Yeah,
you know, I got a lot of.
I haven't believed in the Knicks in a few years, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think their draft was amazing.
Yeah. There was one guy that said that was pretty funny. He was like, give me the 100K and the girl. Don't tell my family.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That guy's a piece of shit.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Scumbag. Get your life together.
Why you even have a family then?
Yeah,
You know
you
what I'm
better
saying?
not be a fucking Mets and Jets and Knicks fan.
Shout out to the guest, but shout out to the fans that they said 100K, but they also gave me like a business plan, like what they're gonna do with it. Like one guy was like, I'm gonna get 100K and build a harem of women. And pimp them.
Oh, wow.
Like, wow. This is amazing.
You're going to take 100K and go right into illegal shit.
100K Megan Fox.
That's fire.
Yeah, this is.
Why people even think that way, dog?
Yo, this is wild.
You can do illegal shit with 100K. It's going to get you money.
Yeah,
like,
So all across the board, people took the money.
A lot more people took the money than the ring.
Definitely
They're not real
Giant
fans,
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
They're Giant fans because they got rings.
Bro,
They're Yankee fans.
I'm a Giant fan, and
No,
I
you-
said
yeah,
the
but
ring
you're
too.
true.
And I didn't even
'Cause you
and
know-
I said it for my second team. Too.
Yeah.
Think about
You
that.
know the
I hear
essence,
you.
yeah.
I hear you on that. The Knicks need it so
real fan.
badly.
Yeah,
They need that help.
You thought about the global impact of the fucking Knicks
Yeah,
winning.
For sure. I think that makes us all selfless.
I know I'm not supposed to say anybody's
Well, yeah,
name,
well,
but
well,
Nikki doesn't
wait.
care because Nikki loves our show and he watches. But Nikki mulled over this thing. He first said 100K, then he was like, you know what though? My team winning the championship. Then he answered again and goes, but 82 days of smashing is bad shit. I was like, shout out to Nick,
You're
man.
negotiating with yourself. You're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yo, Chetty, I'm sorry if
No.
I missed it, but I don't know if you did you give an answer as well?
Yeah, I needed the ring.
Okay.
Yeah, I need the ring. Yeah, the Giants ain't won in a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
And you're a guy who's
You got multiple
you've seen
basketball
a
teams.
lot of-
I have a lot of basketball
This guy
teams,
can never have
right?
enough,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, you know, LeBron goes to the Shanghai Knights. I'll be a Shanghai Knights fan. I saw your bandwagon thing, so I was like, you know what? I was like, he should have had me on the show. I would have been the perfect person.
At least you're open about it, man.
Yo,
Yeah,
quick
I'm open.
question,
Yeah,
quick
I
question.
don't hide it.
Yeah.
LeBron decides, to become the Jets, I don't know, offensive coordinator.
Nah, but see, no, but here we go, right? Like people have asked me,
That's a
they've
tough
said, "Well, Bronny's gonna make it to the NBA. Like, are you gonna?" I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna root for Bronny.
Nah, I'm a LeBron fan, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
I ain't rooting for KG's kid, bro. I'm a Kevin Garnett fan.
I don't root for his wife to have YouTube hits or something. Whatever the fuck it is. Like, I don't care about that. As long as LeBron's putting up 30,
he's funny.
5 and 5, I'm straight. You know, so yeah.
Yo, I actually, because we're on kind of this topic anyway, I kind of wanted to ask, how do you guys feel about when we were talking about LeBron? LeBron got disrespected earlier this year, and he threw a fan out, right? Me and Chetty were talking about that a little earlier.
Oh, okay, the Indiana Pacers thing.
And we feel like, do you feel like there's a level where fans can cross, where they say certain things, and an NBA player should actually be able to, should approach it that way, I guess, and throw a fan out or address it, like, directly? Do you
Me
think that's
personally?
okay? Yeah.
I think that's the same Skip Bayless issue, right? Like, Skip would say whatever he wants. The moment you fall for it, that's it. It's a wrap.
But Skip is not telling our whole Bronny dies.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
get
stuff
it.
like that. You know what I'm saying?
It can be super personal,
Like,
but you're still
yeah.
a professional athlete and a grown man, right? You get paid by these people. So
You're
for
also
you
not
to
a
sit
zoo
there,
animal too.
of course not.
You know
But
what
if
I
I'm
mean?
walking around and somebody's like, "Fuck you,
No,
you,
I mean, yeah,
I
I
don't
know,
know,
it's
funny to say, yeah.
you Dominican slave or some retarded shit, bro," I'm gonna be like, "Okay."
Yo,
Like,
does.
if I'm getting paid millions and this is my sport, I have to understand what comes with that. Obviously, I'm not saying tolerate disrespect, right? But to get somebody thrown out of a game, I don't know. To me, it's a little extra. But again, that's why he's LeBron. He can do whatever the fuck he wants, bro.
Word.
Who's gonna stop him?
'Cause I mean, like you look at Boston with Adam Jones. right? And Adam Jones said it for years. He was like, "Yo, like I hate going to play at Boston because some of the stuff that I would hear."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, anyone surprised though? Like Boston?
No, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Big Papi's the only Dominican they like.
I mean, the list goes down the line. Like the Celtics players we get, the Patriot guys that would go to Foxborough. It's a hostile place to go play in Boston.
I just created a good game that I want to play with you. Pause.
Talk to me.
Just called it right now because you mentioned it earlier. I have a new game called Corner 3. I'm going to ask you 3 questions rapidly.
Okay.
I need whatever the first answer in your head is.
Can I answer this question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It just came to my brain right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like that.
Hold your thought though. You know what the problem with a lot of people is, bro? They never been slapped.
Yeah. That's facts. Yeah.
100%.
That's facts.
I mean that.
No,
And
for sure.
I think a lot. I talk about this all the time. So this isn't like a breaking news.
I
thing
never
for
got
me.
into like a real fight, like to actually fight
Yo,
someone.
The Mike Tyson said.
Yeah.
There's no problem. And if I was an athlete, and I think a lot of athletes that I've interacted with, there's no problem with, yo, fuck you. No problem. You suck. No problem. My favorite one, when they miss a free throw, yo, he with us.
Yeah, I like that.
When
like
you
that.
start talking about someone's religion,
Yeah.
their mother, that's the
children.
line where
Yeah.
it's like, it's a little too crazy,
Yeah.
right? Habib, when he had the beef with Connor,
Yeah.
when he was on top of it, he's like, yo, let's talk now, bro. What's up? You talk about, like,
He's calling him a
Muslim,
terrorist and stuff
calling
like
him a
that.
terrorist
Yeah, I
and shit.
remember,
He's a manager.
Yeah.
He's calling him a terrorist. And
Yeah.
Connor's like, yeah, you're promoting all this fight. And Connor, after the third round, is like, yo, it's business. It's business. Like, nah, bro, it ain't business like
Yeah.
that for a lot of
'Cause you
people.
don't-
There's
Yeah.
a certain line you cross.
Right.
So when you cross a certain line, like Russell Westbrook with the Utah fans,
Yeah.
they're dropping the N-word on him and shit. It's like, at that point, bro, yeah, get him out the game. No
Yeah.
problem. Like that's a layup to eject him.
I think it's classless. Like you could just be slick with it.
I agree.
You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
Be slick
Yeah.
with it. You know, like he's with us. Like I'm using that shit.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, you know.
You were talking about the Aaron Judge shit the other day,
Yeah.
so he just got paid. You said,
Yo, I'm a Yankee fan too. I'm so fucked up. I had a couple of gin and tonics,
my fault.
and I was with
My fault. You were saving that.
And I was with, nah, it's all good. It was just a good vibe. It was 89 degrees. I was with my nephews, and
That's some
obviously I'm trying to
funny shit.
embarrass them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, he got paid. He don't care no more. And then you see the kids like looking back at me, and my nephews are both like this, like slaps out. Like, yo, drunk
That's
uncle.
like a good one. I even feel like Judge
Yeah.
might laugh at that. Like
Yeah,
if he caught
for
that,
sure.
he'd probably laugh at that.
For sure,
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean? Like, yo, I remember one time I was in South Beach for a bachelor party, and one of my friends, she's the manager. Well, she was the manager at 11,
Nice.
right? She hits me up and she's like, "Yo,
Wow,
you guys." She's like, "Yo, you guys coming down to like hang out? I'll set you up with." I was like, "Nah, I don't think so. I don't know what the plan is." And she hits me up and she's like, "Yo, the Nets just left." I was like, the Nets were playing the Heat. This is when like Deion Waiters was on the team. It was
Oh,
like
yeah,
2019.
I remember
the
that, yeah.
Heat were like, whatever.
I heard this episode.
Yeah, they had D'Angelo Russell
This
and
is
shit.
hilarious.
So anyway, she hits me up and she's like, "Yo, they just left. Like, we met up with her at the beach." And she's like, "Yo, they just left like 3 hours ago." It was what, 10 a.m., 11? I'm like, immediately, I'm a degenerate. I'm like,
Right.
I'm like, "Yo, Imp, what's the line on the game?"
Banging that. He's pounding the line.
He's like, "Why?" I was like, "Bro, they don't know this information. Like, this is insider trading 101. Like, we know." He's like, "What is that going to do?" I was like, "Bro, the game is in 12 hours.
They're gonna be dragging ass.
They're not
so
going to
fire.
show up.
Yeah.
Like, yo, let's
Yeah.
take the 3 points."
Yeah.
We all threw our money in together. They were up 30. The Heat were up 30. Getting 3 points at home against the Nets with D'Angelo
That's-
Russell. They were up 30 at halftime. And my friends are like, "Yo, you're the go.
Cakewalk. Yeah.
You're the go."
Cakewalk.
Let me ask you this.
Cakewalk.
Well, I want you to do the
Nah, nah.
three.
You get
but-
3 questions.
Nah,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to this because this actually I like where this is headed.
because I have a gambling
Yes.
question. Because OG told me this. He was like, always bet the spread on the team coming back from a long road trip, right? Because they said that. This is what he told me. The way he told the story was way more funny than I'm saying it. But he was like, because they got to go back to their normal life, and their normal wife, when they're on the road, they're banging whores, they're happy. And when they come home, they got to come home to all their problems. They got to take kids to school, and they're not. And I was like, and I remember I was like 22, and I'm just looking at them, and I'm like, wow, this is fucking awesome, right here. This is amazing. I won't tell you what
Gems.
network I was working for at that point, but it was amazing. But yeah, is that like a thing? Like you definitely do you think about stuff like that? Like, okay, it's a long road trip, not even like personal, like, but like they're probably not going to perform as well coming back home.
Yeah. There's a lot of, so those are like
Real life impact type thing.
Yeah, right.
Right. Oh yeah, that's actually a real thing.
I want you giving all your secrets, but it's just
No,
like,
I mean,
is that a
I
real
give
thing?
them out for free anyway. So like on the show and shit, 3 games in 4 nights, right? Like back to back on the road, or shit like that. Traveling East Coast if you're a football team, going to play out west and coming east and going west again. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
That shit happens a lot. You've seen a trend in the NFL now. The Rams and the Niners started doing it because McVay and Shanahan are like, they're boys.
Gotcha.
they would start like if the Niners were playing the Jets and the Giants like they did 2 years ago, they would just stay out east for 2 weeks.
Right.
So instead of going to play the Jets, go back to San Fran, then come back. They're like, yo, we're just going to camp out, go to Virginia or somewhere. They go to one of these, a college like Pittsburgh University and just camp out there, and they do all their practices and shit. So, yeah, there's a lot of truth to that, dude. There's a bunch of truth to that. I absolutely look into shit like that.
Yeah.
The way he told the story is way more funny than I told it, but it was amazing.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Does that affect you as a fan? Your betting? Like, do you feel like you catch yourself? Do you think it's better yet? That's my question. Do you think it's okay to bet against your own team?
That's a good. I like that question.
Oh yeah, I think you can make a ton of money if you're rational.
So you pick rationality over fandom?
I know my teams very well,
right.
So I know when to pick against the Giants, and I do it often.
Oh damn!
Like it's not. Yeah,
I hear you.
Tough.
Well,
no, I hear you.
Like I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it if they're in the playoffs. But when they're winning one game by November 2nd,
and they're only scoring like a touchdown a game.
I'm like, bro, they shouldn't be a favorite against anyone. Like, why are they a 6-point favorite? So I think if you could be honest with yourself about your team, you can make a lot of money on it. I truly believe that.
All right.
And
I never would.
And then you can get like a lot of hurt if it doesn't work out for you. I bet against the Mets and they won. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing winning in a losing season? You know what I mean? But it is what it is. That shit sucks. That shit sucks. That shit sucks.
I know some people that bet against their favorite team. So then, when they lose, they're
it's
like,
a win-win.
at least I got some bread out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But then if they win, they're so happy that their team won. They're like,
Yeah.
what's $100? They ain't gonna change anything anyway.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
Right. But I'd rather my
That's true.
team get the W.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. It's a win-win. It could be.
I don't know. I can never bet against my team.
I know you're like.
I'm
that.
very
You are
superstitious in that sense, right? Like I'm.
Don't
just
get me
like,
wrong. If the Giants come out the gates and they're 8-1, I ain't betting against them. I might not bet them.
even if it's a
Definitely won't
rational
Because
decision.
it's a double hurt. It's like double hurt.
Yeah.
If they
No,
lose,
so here's the thing, right? The number one thing I tell people about sports betting is you bet numbers, not teams.
Okay.
So you bet the point spreads. You bet the situation of like, they're just they were at 11.
Backup quarterback.
Yeah, they were at 11 last night till 3 a.m. or whatever it is. Like, I bet the numbers, not the teams.
Dope.
So
Okay.
that's probably my number one bit of advice I tell people about like sports betting.
Yeah,
It's free game.
That is.
Listeners, it's free game.
it really is. It really is. I got criticized for that the other day. If you remember in the group chat,
What?
for being a numbers guy and not a watcher. He's like, yo, you giving? He was like, yo, you giving mad people advice. I've been listening to the podcast. He's like, you haven't been watching basketball? I'm like, I haven't watched, not for mad months, but I'm following like stats and
Well,
I'm like, I know trends and
there's a lot of professional sports bettors
Yeah.
that I know out in Vegas that don't watch games.
Yeah, and it's-
because they don't want it to influence their eyes and
Yeah.
their because they have charts and data and analytics.
That's
Someone watches an analyst. I forgot who it is, but he watches the games and with no sound because he feels that like the broadcasters. Yeah.
I do the same thing, bro.
Shit. Nice.
Because I a lot of
Yeah.
times like I'll have it on and I might be in an Xbox party with my boys watching Red Zone.
Yeah.
Or I might even have like a podcast on just because like I'm so busy throughout like I might be doing something else. And a lot of times I don't like the commentary guys.
Yeah.
Like if Romo's on and it's a spotlight game, like I'll have it on.
Yeah.
yeah.
But sometimes like
So like Sunday Night Football, you don't have it on?
Nah,
Primetime game?
I kind of like Collinsworth, man. I think he's funny. And
That's what I'm asking you. Yeah, you don't have it.
and like
they're
Al
good.
Michaels for years would always
Yeah.
say shit like, oh, there's some people that care about that field goal, and it's like
I love that.
Right? And the
I love
over-under.
that at the end of games.
And the-
Someone is happy when it's
Yeah,
a 40-10 game. Yeah. Someone out there. I love that.
Pittsburgh's driving
I
right
love
now.
that.
We know some people are interested in this outcome.
Okay.
It's like you and us, bro.
Yeah, you
He's
know what
with
it
us.
is. You know what it is.
Scott Van Pelt, Stanford Steve.
Yeah.
Those are your guys.
Yeah,
Those definitely your guys.
Scott Van Pelt?
Yeah,
I like Scott Van Pelt
and
as well.
Stanford,
I like him a lot.
Steve. Like those
They're
are like,
dope.
like they have like the segment Bad Beats. It's one of my favorites
And,
for
it's-
years. Yeah,
I think it makes that whole show. It's fun.
100%. Yeah,
And it
Yeah.
sucks when you're like, damn, son, that was my game. That I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
on.
I know. Yes,
This is
absolutely,
word to you,
absolutely.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
What were your three questions?
Well, you have your
bro?
three
I know
questions. Yeah.
I interrupted.
Yo,
Corner
I totally,
three.
I totally forgot, man.
Corner threes, bang,
Corner
bang,
three.
I
bang.
totally fucking
Catch and
forgot.
shoot. You said we should call it catch and shoot. Right there you go.
Damn. And I know you inspired it because of the corner three thing we talked about earlier, and then you mentioned the Dirty Foxborough team.
Well, it was actually no, what it was. So you would say your favorite team. Well, your favorite team out of all sports is what? You said the Giants.
The Giants, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
the Giants, right?
for sure.
Could you date a girl that was a Cowboys Eagles fan? Cowboys or Eagles fan?
So
I won't say the Redskins
Why you
because
grilling
I don't really
me,
think we
son?
got beef.
Like,
with
you
the
gonna test my
Redskins.
fan?
No, you got a good story.
So here's the thing.
Was that your question, Johnny?
Nah, I was looking up.
Yeah.
I'll figure out the corner 3 for the next time we on the episode.
I don't think I'd be able to date an Eagles fan. Because to me, like, I'm 31. I feel like that's the team that's really ruined a lot of nights for me. Like, it's
he knows
either
my pain with Brady.
it's either like it's always first of all anytime they would go
Deshaun
into
Jackson.
Philly, but like that's that fucking guy. There's not an athlete I hate more. Like sports hate. I think there's hate and there's sports hate. Like, I sports hate.
Nah,
Deshaun
sports hate.
Jackson.
Yeah. I don't hate Jimmy Butler as a human being.
Yeah, but
You might
I just hate his mom.
Like, you might.
Everyone knows what that means. If you're not a psychopath, you know what you mean.
Yeah, he's a borderline.
Yo, I
He's
hate
borderline.
Deshaun
Shout out to
Jackson.
Diego.
Well,
But like, yo,
Fuck that nigga. I hope Phil Jackson dies. Nah, shout out to Phil Jackson. Don't hope he dies. Someone said that.
there's so many.
He's on the break.
please.
No, I'm just saying. It was an example.
I mean, you guys have killed off like 4 different people.
Yeah.
In this one.
We killed
Chris
Weber.
Jackson. It's
We
like,
got a Fab Five.
Yo,
We got a Fab
our own
We're going
Fab
for one
Five, the new
more.
Fab Five.
We're going for one more.
Yo,
Don't
so-
kill up nobody in WWE,
AARP.
though. Don't kill up nobody in WWE. I get offended.
So
Shout out to Vince.
the Eagles, man, the Eagles will go like, even when the Eagles would be bad, the Giants would just go in there and the Giants need this game to win and they lose like 45-10. Or like Victor Cruz, his career ended in Philly.
Yeah.
They got hurt. Yeah.
Eli would get his ass whooped every time he'd go there. And then it would just like derail the season. Like they'd go in there on a 4-game win streak, get throttled by Philly, and then they lose like 4 of the next 5. And you're like, yo, fuck that place.
The year that
yeah.
Plaque shot himself, we lost to Philly that year. And we
Yeah,
were rolling
lost
that
to
year.
Philly. Yeah, I went to that game, man.
Yeah,
I
we were rolling that year.
I
Yeah.
was never so certain my team was going to win a championship in that year. The 08 Giants,
Yeah.
after they beat the Pats.
They were rolling that year. Yeah.
Bro, they beat the Cardinals that season
They
and
won-
the Steelers, who went to the
They
Super
won that
Bowl.
Monday Night
They
Football
were
game.
really good. 'cause
Plaque
I remember
shot
when
himself.
Plaque shot himself. That was
And it was over. Then
yeah.
McNabb picked up the phone in the playoff game. It was terrible.
It was a wrap.
Fucking terrible.
It was a wrap. So to me,
Yeah.
like an Eagles fan, it'd be kind of tough. Like,
So you could date a Cowboys fan.
yeah, I'd probably be able. I'd be like, yo, you guys ain't been shit since like the 90s. You guys are gonna choke. Like,
I ain't gonna lie. I was being used by a Patriots fan.
I was being used.
and
For sexual favors?
I think, she was using me. And I think the reason why it didn't bother me too much because she wasn't a real Patriots fan, right? Like, she was a Pats
no.
fan.
I'm talking about like she watches the game.
Yeah,
So
no,
you
see,
like-
that would be
comes-
different.
Yeah,
Nah,
like
you can't do it.
she comes in the room and she's like, "Y'all got smoked."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
You can't come
Yeah,
on, no,
no.
Tom Brady's the best. Like, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to
I
take it.
absolutely can do it. I would love for my girl
Dog,
to be a
you-
rival
you
team friend.
changed your wife.
Yeah.
I didn't
into a
change
best
it.
friend.
I didn't change it.
Yes, you
She
did.
You
wanted
said she
to.
was a Yankees
I
fan.
said stay
Nah,
being a
that's
Yankee
love.
fan. I don't like
Nah,
you
that's
switching
love.
sides. I
That's
like
love.
the loyalty you have to
Nah,
your
that's
team.
love, man.
But it is
That's
love.
love.
It is love. She's
That's
like,
love.
no, I'm done
Yeah.
with this team. I want to be a Met
Yeah.
fan. I'm like, whatever, man. I'd rather you be a Yankee fan. I'd rather,
Her dad's your father-in-law's a
Yankee
right?
fan, yeah. But I'd rather,
He don't know nothing about
argue
sports,
about
bro.
shit. Now, I'd rather argue about it and like talk shit to you. I'd rather push it on the line. I like that. I
yo,
love.
you being a Mets fan shows your loyalty, though.
Yeah, yo, build my character.
yeah.
I would never change that, man.
Yeah.
I would-
Brandon, he's not going nowhere, dog. He's not going nowhere. He's got a Matt Harvey jersey on. He's not going anywhere.
He's still in my heart.
That's
He had his daughter with a
He's
Sam
still in my
Darnold
heart.
jersey that day.
I did.
I was like, my cousin was
amazing.
there, baby.
If they wore the uniform,
What about
man,
Jamal
they're in my
Adams?
heart.
Jamal
No,
Adams,
no,
no.
he's
Yeah,
not.
he's dead
I
too.
just
Jamal
lied about what I
Adams,
said
Jimmy
because
Butler could go,
my example just got
crash
shot to the
together,
ground because we just said.
Yo, you kidding
Fuck
me?
Jamal
If
Adams.
I was a Jets fan, I'd have his jersey.
Jamal, nah,
I was a
you good.
highway robbery.
You good.
got
I know.
all that.
Oh, no, he's
That-
saying what you got.
I know.
What you got.
That's what Daggy says, but he didn't make that high.
Yo.
Our GM did. Shout out to
Nah,
him.
I know,
Shout out to Joe
but
Douglas.
it was because Jamal Adams wanted a crazy contract.
Yeah, I know.
Like that was just
Jamal Adams was nuts.
all that. Yo,
But I can't thank him for it. Is what I'm saying. I can't be thankful.
If he didn't carry himself like he thinks he's a superstar, you know what I mean? So he has that about him that like, okay, well, now if he was a quieter
I
guy,
believed it.
imagine he had Calvin Johnson's personality, right? But obviously he doesn't have Calvin Johnson's talent, right?
Yeah.
You probably don't.
But
get
like
that
he
trade.
probably wouldn't get that trade.
Yeah.
But because he's like a polarizing, like, alpha. So
Suppose it. Shout out to him.
How about you put the jersey up and you can throw shit at it if you want to?
Actually, I just posted in the group
darts.
chat today, right? I posted in the group chat today of the day he got traded.
Oh, does he hate
I ran out of
Jamal
memory.
Adams?
Yeah, I ran out of memory in my phone, and I'm going through video, and I have a 2.5-minute video of Jamal Adams smoking a cigar and dancing around. I was like, I saved the video literally to go back to it
For this moment.
this day, right now, where the Seahawks are fucking trash. And he's on a trash-ass team after, obviously everyone was celebrating him leaving the Jets, thinking that the Jets are going to be trash forever.
You know where it
Shout out
says
to Jamal Adams, though.
people like in your phone when you go through your photos. It's like his children,
right.
his wife, and then Jamal
Jamal
Adams.
Adams. Fuck that guy.
Swipe right.
Teddy
Jamal
brought up a
Adams.
good point, though, bringing up Calvin Johnson. Like, who are some players, like, you feel like if you had the choice, what player that didn't get a ring but could win a ring? Or throughout all sports.
Oh yeah, man.
That's a good question.
Wow.
Calvin's.
You know what I mean?
Calvin's.
Who would
yeah.
it be?
Yeah.
Wow, that's Whoever came up with that question, that's a good one.
It was me. It was me.
Shouts to you.
I'm gonna take the credit from Chetty. It was me.
Damn.
Faye did. Our producer.
Our producer did.
Who could win a ring that never won one? Fuck. You know, I feel like, so you can approach it two ways, right? Like, I'm a fan of greatness.
Yes.
So, like, a dude that was, like, great, that didn't win a ring. Like, the first name I thought of, and I'll probably regret this pick later on when I really think about it, but, like, Larry Fitzgerald. Like, that's a dude that I would have loved to see win a ring, right?
He was right there.
He was right there, yeah. And, like, he was just so consistent. Never was a headache. Scored a touchdown, would flip the ball to a referee. And, like, anyone that ever talked, like, no one ever said something bad about him, right? So that would be the guy that came to mind first. As far as, like, the NBA, like, I know the popular pick last year was, like, Chris Paul. Like, Chris Paul to me is...
You a dick.
Now, he is a dick.
It's cool. You
He's
know,
not like, it's like Larry
Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald.
But I think he's still
Right, that's different, bro. Like, I don't... Chris Paul not getting a ring doesn't affect me.
yeah, that don't... To me, it's
I like the Fitz answer.
whatever.
Yeah,
I would say, like, Fitz. I'm really trying to rattle off names in my head.
But look, I want to hear your NBA guy, though.
NBA guy?
Patrick, yo.
I was why you do that?
Charles Barkley.
John
You don't get a pick.
Starks.
You don't get a
John
pick. This is his pick. You don't get a pick.
I didn't even pick
Charlie
Charles
Ward.
Starks.
Oh, Jesus.
Nah, you know...
Name a Nick.
You know what's funny? for comedy purposes, Barkley would have been great.
Yeah, for sure.
Barkley always...
He would have been Draymond on 1,000 right now.
Shaq
Barkley got
always
that
just
ring.
goes like, "Shut up, you don't know how to win."
Yeah.
And Barkley's just like, "Damn, this motherfucker."
Yeah.
You gotta take it.
For sure.
Hall of Fame, but no ring. That shit is tough, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a baseball guy?
Baseball guy? Probably Trout, right?
Wow.
Everyone raves
Yeah.
about Trout
Yeah,
being
yeah,
like
yeah.
the greatest.
You don't even get to see him in the playoffs.
But you don't think
which
that he
sucks.
is? Of our time?
Honestly, bro, I don't know enough about baseball like that on the grand scale to give you an answer.
Okay.
But from the people whose opinion I respect, they're like, "Yo, he's the GOAT."
Yeah, he
He's
is.
the
Yeah,
greatest.
he is. No, I don't know about the greatest ever, but yeah, in our time.
He's
he is.
fi- he's considered a 5
yeah.
tool.
I'd say Griffey.
Well, the greatest.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Griffey.
Griffey's a good answer.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great answer.
Yeah,
Great
that's a great
answer.
answer. Yeah.
Dude hit like what 650 plus home runs.
Bro.
And, yo, he missed like
With
5 seasons.
with no
worth?
steroids.
The craziest thing is that obviously he's an
Never, no
icon, Hall of
case.
Famer, one of the greatest players ever, but his impact culturally was even
Oh, yeah.
arguably bigger than even the numbers he put up.
He brought swag.
Yeah.
He had a good
Yeah.
sneaker. Yeah, he definitely.
He
Yeah,
made wearing a hat backwards cool.
Yeah, all
like
of
that was
Yeah.
Griffey for sure in baseball now. Yeah, I take it. Fuck Trout. Trout's still playing. Like
Yeah.
Griffey. For
He
sure.
got a chance.
Yeah.
What's yours, Chetty?
Okay. Damn, I didn't think I was gonna get access. I thought it was just for Nick. Oh, my bad. I'll say it had for basketball it had to be Pat. For football, damn, I'll skip football right now. And then for baseball, yeah, probably like Griffey. You would say maybe, yeah. Oh, for me, because damn, I'm fucking old. Don Mattingly. Because he missed it by like a year
Yo,
or
literally
two.
a year, bro.
You know
No,
what I'm
he missed it
saying?
by a
And
year.
Tino got the ring. So like, yeah, so that would be my guy. And then, did I say hoops already?
Oh, I didn't think we would do all of them. I was
Oh,
going
okay.
to
All right. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, there you go. That's one.
Go ahead, man. Say
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
All right, so obviously,
Anthony Mason.
Anthony Mason.
Damn, why did get that?
great answer. That's a great answer.
Chris Childs.
That's a great answer. I went to Anthony Mason's basketball camp.
It is a great answer.
That's Queens, baby.
There you go.
That's
Anthony
Queens,
Mason.
baby.
Anthony Mason. I actually was trying to think for a while, like who played for the Knicks the longest amount of years in that time frame because they
I
deserve
say
it.
Pat.
But
I say Pat.
yeah, I would say Pat too. I
Yeah,
think Pat
I
as
say
well.
Pat.
That
Yeah.
team
But you
deserved
took that
it,
answer,
dog.
so I can't.
That team was tough, bro.
Yeah.
It's just that team that went down those 2 years
Yo,
and just was there on the brink.
I talk about this shit all the time. Think about how iconic that team is, and they didn't win.
Yeah. That's how important the Knicks are.
That's what I'm saying. If they were
If
to
the
win,
Knicks
like, bro,
get rolling, yeah.
I remember I went
Yeah.
one time. I had a cousin of mine visit from Greece, and she don't know nothing about sports. And we went there, and they showed Larry Johnson was there, and Charles Oakley. He was sitting with Charles, right? So he did his thing, and then Charles Oakley got a standing ovation. And she's like,
he
"Oh,
did this. Charles Oakley did this.
Yeah.
This is before Dolan kicked him out." Yeah. And she was like, "Oh, did they win the championship that year?" I was like, "Nah." She's like, "Who'd they lose to?" I was like, "Oh, they lost to the Rockets." Is when MJ took the left to play baseball.
When OJ was getting
She's like,
chased.
"Wait, so they celebrate him by and they didn't win?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a big thing." And like, yo, sometimes you get gems from people that don't follow something in particular.
for sure.
Because sometimes you're so close to it.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And then I was
That's
just
the way
like,
to put it, yeah.
damn, this bitch really just like,
Made me
I
question
mean that in the nicest
fucked
way.
up his childhood.
I know what you mean.
She's
They
my
see it
cousin,
But
so
they
she-
see it from a logical standpoint.
Yeah.
She was just like, I was like, damn, son, we really like
idolize that team.
idolize them, and they didn't win, bro. And that's when
like
I flipped it. Like, yo,
for sure.
if we were to win a title, we burn the city down.
Because like I don't even feel like the Spreewell, Houston, the LJ teams. I don't feel like those teams are beloved like the Mason, Ewing teams, and those teams were.
That team did get love, but
whether it was a lockout
Made it to the
season,
finals,
whatever.
yeah.
But at the same time, they were still an A seed, and they just went. I remember being locked in that playoffs, and they were rolling. You got the LJ 4-point play, like. There's a lot of things that went into that. You know, they just ran into Tim Duncan. You know,
that was the same year that Allen Houston hit the little front of the rim
against
shot.
those Miami series were wars.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So like, actually, you know what? I got to shout out.
They got to allow fighting back in basketball. They got to do that. They do. I've been saying it for a long time. They got to allow that shit, dog. They allow it in hockey, man.
It works.
Bring back
hockey,
rivalries. Yeah, it'll bring back rivalries in the NBA.
Mine was a layup.
Yo, but I just want to say Matt Harvey in baseball.
Of course, man.
Sorry.
Nah, I'm with you, bro.
So disappointing what happened to him, honestly. And now that we know,
especially
over
a girl.
And partying, yeah.
I just want him to get a relief role. I don't care about the ring.
Drugs, bro.
I just want him to become a reliever. That's all I want for him.
He's still around. I know I'm talking about him like he's fucking gone.
Nah,
he was there.
He's still around. He can win a ring.
Matt Harvey is gone,
win a ring. Yeah. He can still win a ring as a reliever.
could.
But that Matt Harvey.
Nah, he's done. Dark Knight.
That shit was sick.
That was a time.
That's
that
our
was a
luck.
vibe.
Honestly, the only reason that happened is because I was a fan of his. I'm being honest with you. I had that power.
You put the kibosh
And I know
on
that I know us three at least can relate to feeling that way, right? Like we have a power, like what we say.
Oh God.
Mine was a layup, but then it was like a two-way tie, just because of the reasoning behind it, right? Like to me, Barry Sanders is like my favorite running back of all time.
Nice.
I thought you were gonna say Curtis Martin.
But that's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
So,
My
but
fault.
the thing
Sorry.
that came up to me when automatically it was Barry Curtis.
Yeah.
But my problem with Barry Sanders was he chose to leave the game.
Okay.
Curtis was taken away from the game.
Facts.
So can I be devil's advocate for Barry Sanders?
Yeah.
They never put like a team around him.
Same shit as Megatron.
So it was like one of those things. Yeah, it's just like,
Same team.
I would say I'm a big NBA guy, so like for me they're like the Sacramento Kings of like the NFL, where like you just go there and like you could be nasty,
Get developed.
but like you know what I mean. Like yo,
They were just like, we got him.
they
We're
had
okay.
2 or 3 like you could even say Stafford is like.
Dude, that's
Top
why I
notch.
went for
Yeah,
Stafford
Stafford.
last
You
year.
know what I mean? You
because
got
it was like,
it's like yo,
Come on,
they stuck it out. Like I mean, they and you know, there's got to be a reason why Megatron and Barry retired early. You know what I mean? It's got to be.
that's why when
you know?
KG left the Wolves, like I wasn't upset because I saw
He
KG
gave them enough.
give him
That was it.
everything,
Yeah.
dude. Cut
He
his
gave them
contract,
enough.
do crazy shit,
Right.
and
He
they
gave
still
them
didn't
enough.
give
Yeah.
him the pieces.
Oh, he gave them enough. That's enough.
Yeah, that's why to me the 1 and 2 would be Curtis and Barry. Is just I love Barry Sanders, and there's no Curtis Martin without Barry Sanders, right?
Yeah.
Because their game was very similar.
Both catch the
And
ball.
Curtis would always say it. And then they were
They ran
very
left
humble.
and right a lot. That's why.
Yeah.
They ran left and right a lot.
And they were humble, dude. You never saw him talk shit. It was kind of like, let me get my fucking job done. All right. Like the whole make believe you've been in the end zone before when you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that
That was
about
the
Curtis
thing.
Martin
Like
for
you've
sure.
been
Curtis
there
Martin was
before,
definitely
Act
like
like
this-
you've been there before.
Nah, I remember last year when the Rams got Stafford, I bet them right away to win the Super Bowl. My
Yeah.
friends were like, "Yo, he's on Detroit." I was like,
Yo.
"Yo,
I did too. You
Me
know
and
that?
you.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
I did not.
No, you picked the Green Bowl.
Yeah, I did.
Remember that?
Oh, God.
I had Packers and Jets.
Packers and Jets. He picks the Green Bowl every year. Packers and Jets.
It's gonna happen one year.
Yo, that's
You may not be
hilarious.
alive for it, but it's gonna happen.
Every year.
Nah, but yo, I remember one of the things I was saying on the show. I was like, "Yo, you guys all shit on Stafford, but you got to remember he played on a team that's known for their
Facts.
2 iconic players retiring early.
Facts.
Yes.
So like, yeah, bro, it's all
Now that
situations.
we're on the topic of Stafford, I just want to say Zach Wilson had almost an identical year to Stafford's first year.
Yeah.
So everyone was questioning Zach Wilson. Just I just had to throw that in there.
the thing I didn't like about Zach Wilson coming out is he's
The headband.
nah.
That too.
That shit fucked with me
Yeah,
big
I
time.
agree.
That
Yeah, I
was
feel you.
hilarious.
Like, what is this?
Nah,
Miami Vice?
I think he's he looks small.
Yeah.
Like physically, he's like yeah,
Drew Brees is small.
yeah, but those guys like him, Russ. My friend said the same thing. I was like, yeah, but they look like stocky. They look big. Like Zach Wilson just
So
looks like
He looks like a college
But you don't
athlete
think
at
he
the
could put on? You think
He already started.
He
to
looks
put on
small
weight,
like
but
Manziel.
I'm not gonna go.
he could.
Manziel was
Yeah, he
small.
definitely could. He's still young enough to. But I think like that's like I don't want like I love Justin Herbert. I don't like that he's put on like 30 pounds of
Yeah,
muscle.
you got to be
like,
careful how you do that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I don't like that shit because that's what makes you great too. You know what I mean? Like especially a position like quarterback with throwing and shit. Like you know you don't want to put up too much where now you don't have the same touch and your
For sure.
accuracy dips.
You're a little stiff, you know.
Yeah, it took
obviously.
Giannis. Remember Giannis when he first came into the league, and then, like what he turned into. It's like even him. It took him a while to actually find like a jump shot where people will respect him.
Yeah,
but they're still kids. Like their bodies grow. Like you got LeBron when he came into the league.
That you could.
Giannis was a kid.
Grow.
And
really, it is. Even LeBron
if
came
you
in
last
mad
in the
mature.
NFL,
and
that's
still,
kind of
Of course, yeah.
because
LeBron is Dominican.
Yeah,
he's
definitely not his age.
He definitely was saying Anabole. Sure. Anabole is a Dominican steroid. Sorry if anybody doesn't know that.
Shout out to Albert Pujols, man.
Yo,
50 in the league.
Shout out to A-Rod with the gummy bear.
Legend.
Gummy bears.
Oh man,
That's great. That's great for real.
Teddy, what's left on the docket?
So I guess I know you're not a big baseball guy.
Neither am I. No one here is.
No, but what would the Subway Series mean to the city? Because we both right now, both teams are rocking.
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. Both teams are killing. You got the Mets. The Mets. As much as I don't like to admit, the Mets are killing without their two best pitchers. And then you have the Yankees, who are just seems like every game that they're down, they're coming back in their games and stuff like that. So, and also I think that they have to go through the Astros, which I think they're going to have a hard time doing. But that's another topic for another day.
It's funny you bring up the Astros because I had a free FanDuel $50 bet for baseball, and we did a parlay, and me and my friends, we took the Yankees, and then they got no hit the other day.
Oh yeah, I was at that game. I was at that game.
They're all Yankee fans. I was like, yo, what's good? You telling me about this weak ass offense? You guys
I was at that game, fucking baking.
It's impressive to do that.
In the sun, just to watch them not get a hit, not get a fucking hit.
That's
but
wild.
Yeah.
Nah, man, it would be, the thing that sucks about baseball is that it does really well regionally, but nationally it doesn't. So, a Subway Series would be...
For the city, it's going to be
lit,
right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's going to be awesome. But no one's going to care about that in San Diego.
Yeah.
No one's going to care about that in Dallas.
Yeah.
And that's where baseball really struggles because it's the marketing behind it. And it's just a sport where, Yes Network does great numbers in New York, right? SNY does great numbers in New York. But then people just in Cincinnati are not going to care about the world. Yeah, you'll have a couple. There's always an exception to the rule.
That's a good answer, man.
But I just feel like but as far as what it means to the city, it'd be phenomenal. It'd be sick. But
especially if the Mets win.
Yeah, that'd be popping.
for sure.
Teddy, agree, bro. Not because of team anything. It's just.
But I'll be honest with you, we haven't won since 2009 either. It's not like we're world beaters. It's not like we're winning.
You won the last Subway Series,
so it'd be great if the Mets won the next one.
Okay.
It would be wow.
Not for me. You know what shit I talk? You know what shit I talk about that 2000 World Series? I talking about that shit the other day. I was about to buy a Yankee hat with the patch on it to be recognize her. Don't forget it. Oh,
fuck
man.
Timo Perez.
So what's Timo Perez? Tell it Benny Aguayani.
Word. Now shout out to him though.
What's next for Veterans Minimum, man?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
what we got on tap? What we got coming up?
There's a lot, man. There's a lot. I like to evolve the show. Like I was saying before, the NFL offseason, I like to experiment with new ideas, new talking points, new segments, new guests. Every year I like adding some new shit so that I can pick up a new thing that I could get good at. Now I'm fucking with TikTok a lot, but
nice.
A lot of it is just posting the podcast clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna start doing dances. And shit,
no one wants that.
Honestly, I wish you did now.
You gotta do Victor Cruz salsa.
Who's gonna win?
Mets? Look, if we start 4-0, I need a Veterans Minimum. Victor Cruz salsa.
Yeah, I might do it, bro.
4-0. That's all I'm asking. That's a tough ask. That's a tough ask.
Or you can honestly, you can ask for. You could ask for responses and shit like that. And if you reach a certain level of responses, you can do the video.
Yeah. You can make that like a Patreon.
Yeah, exactly.
You got paid for that.
Exactly.
You got paid for that.
Nah, man, but I want to. I got some ideas. I don't want to share too much about it on here yet because I don't know when this is going to air too. But
all good.
There's adding more people to the show, making it more like a show than a podcast.
I like that.
And I want to evolve into streaming it live.
Oh, nice.
I think that's the next evolution.
Yeah.
I want to do watch-alongs of say it was the World Series. It'd be yo, come on, let's watch Game 5.
Even a Sunday Night Football watch along.
Let's watch Game 5 and I think the next evolution in sports content is going to be watching your favorite content creators be the play-by-play guy.
Yeah. That's what I thought you were going with it when you said that right now. Watch party.
The watch along shit.
Yeah.
I really think not a lot of people are doing that. Barstool kind of does that thing where they all sit on their couch and they're watching the games and they bet on it.
Yeah.
Something like that, but it would look very similar to how my show is.
Are you into fantasy baseball, football, basketball at all? Do you do any of that stuff, or are you more betting?
Everything, bro.
Okay.
Anything I can try to win money on.
Why I asked that is because I feel like on a Sunday night, or even I should say that on a Thursday night, that's probably one of the worst games of the week, right?
Yeah.
Once you get past like week 4. But I'm watching it because I may have my running back and my QB starting.
You are 100% watching it because you have your running back.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
You know
that's
what
why.
I mean? Or even I'm at dinner with my girl and I'm like, damn, man, you got 12 carries and 22 yards. What the fuck?
Yo,
You know?
how I was telling you before about how someone could be away from the subject and could give you a different perspective. How my cousin with the Knicks not winning the championship, one day I'll never forget it. The Falcons are playing the Bucks Thursday Night Football. Dude, the score is like 48-0. Right? My mom comes downstairs. I'm living at my parents' crib at the time, and I was living in the basement. She comes downstairs. She's like, "Why are you watching this?" And then she goes, "Oh, your fantasy team, right?"
That's fire. That's fire.
And it's like,
fire.
why the fuck am I watching Titans Jaguars on a Thursday, bro? It's because I got the running back and I got Derrick Henry on my team.
And I hope he gets a garbage touchdown.
Or because I got plus 7.5.
Facts.
That's why the NFL for the longest time, like, the NFL was so hypocritical for many things, right? Like, the NFL, the one thing that they've never done right is, like, all their rulings on something is all arbitrary.
Yeah.
Right?
Suspensions and all
Shout
that.
out to Calvin Ridley, baby.
Sure, yeah. Yo, shout out to Calvin Ridley. We should have been a Jet.
But, like, yo,
Some bullshit.
go back to
It'll always come back to that with me, Chetty. Sorry.
somehow on the Jets, right? I feel you, bro. But you would have guys smoke weed for the first time, they get 2 games. Then the next guy will smoke weed for the first time, he'll get 5 games. You're like, hold on, this isn't even, Adrian Peterson with his kid. That goes down. Then Ray Rice with the video, he gets 2 games. And it's like, yo, how can you watch that video and give him 2 games? And then it's like, just...
And then Tyreek Hill never got...
There's so much stuff.
Exactly.
Kareem Hunt, another one, right? Like, there's nothing that you could look at where it's like, if you do this thing, it's going to be this amount of games. And like, every case and scenario is completely different. I get it. But especially with something like with weed...
I guess there's different state laws as well. We got to take consideration.
Yeah, that's true. That's something I'm not that informed on. But I'm talking about like from the NFL like outlook perspective. It just never made sense. And then to tie it into like how you brought up this question, for the longest time they hated when you if you were commentating on the games, like, don't talk about the point spread. Or, like the game shows, like, don't tell them what the line is. So they would work around that by, if I was a guy on TV and I couldn't tell you that, yo, they're gonna cover the 7. I'd be like, yo, the Bears this week, they're going to win by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, there would be little...
You're like, oh, shit, the line is 7. I'm going to take that. Right? So there was ways to work around
the fucking Booger McFarlane and shit. We say,
But also the NFL, like, for the longest time, they were so anti-betting, and then they realized, like, oh, shit, one of the reasons why we're the number 1 sport on the country is because of the betting and the fantasy. And then they put a team in the betting capital of the world. And now they love betting. Right? Now every talk show got the line.
That's a fact.
Like, it's just
literally, I think ESPN or Fox Sports has shows where like they're just talking about NFL, whatever, but in the background you'll see like
you see the line.
exactly. And updated like in real time.
Yeah, man. But I know I got super sidetracked on that. But yeah, there's a bunch of cool shit, man. I never want it to get stale for me, because I know if it gets stale for me, then it gets stale for the audience. That is all I want to do. So I like adding new challenges and just like learning shit. You know, just go to YouTube, whatever you want to learn how to do, you can learn that shit on there.
Well, let us know where we can find Veterans Minimum.
Just launched the website now, veteransminimum.com.
Nice.
That's like a dadatabase where you can find everything. The social medias, the clips, the YouTube, the Patreon. There's merch.
We're going to go copy his site.
Yeah.
Well, that's another question I got for you before we sign off. It's kind of like, what advice do you have for somebody that's starting? You mentioned like 3 million podcasts were started like in like from 2020 to now. What advice do you have somebody that's like, damn, man, I really want to start this. I have a buddy. He says that, I want to start this wrestling podcast, but like we just never get the follow through. We never like get the click or to do it or something like that. What's your advice to somebody who wants to start a podcast?
You gotta, without question, be persistent.
Okay.
And you gotta like, bro. To this day, I never know like. I know what my podcast does, like the numbers it does, but I don't go searching for it. So like I upload the episode and then I go. And then at the end of the month, I get a report back what my downloads are.
Yeah.
Besides that, like I just go, dude. Like
Damn, we need to be part of a network, bro.
I know.
This guy gets reports.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fire. But like the episode to episode, like I never look like, oh, this one did better than the other. It's like, nah, man, I just keep going, just putting out a bunch of work. Because, every opportunity that I've gotten, has had nothing to do with my following.
That's wild.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like, yo, I've been doing this for 7 years now. This is the body of work. This is the digital resume I have. No one's asked me where I went to college.
Yeah.
I dropped out of college with like a semester
Right.
ago. So like everything that I learned how to do, I learned and taught myself.
I learned along the way.
Yeah, bro.
yeah,
You
yeah.
just trial and error, man. And like, yo, I'm mad curious. Like, I'm gonna ask you guys all. Like, I was asking you about
Yeah,
the camera and
that's
shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I'm very curious at things. And at first, if you don't know me, you might be like, "Damn, this motherfucker's mad nosy."
Nah,
son."
bro. Yo, whatever
Not at all,
you need
yeah,
to know.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm
that's
with
how.
it.
Same
But that's
shit.
how I am. So I think like, I think starting right, just start and tamper your expectations. Like, you're not gonna get thousands of downloads right away. You're not. Like, you'd be surprised, bro. As someone that works in the industry, there'll be athletes that start a new podcast, and I'll be sitting in meetings with them, and they'll put up their numbers, and I'll be like, damn, yo, my shit does better than theirs.
Yeah.
Not even on like, oh, I'm better than you. It's just like, it adds perspective. Like, you have millions of followers, but it's like, it's a completely different ball game.
Yeah.
Because it's like, are you going to do this podcast for 20 episodes, or are you going to be here for the long haul?
Right.
For sure. When people start coming back.
That was
you're
my speech when we
expecting,
started. I was kind of like, yo, we're going to do this shit for us.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
it. No other expectation. If it hits, awesome. But regardless, it gets us together.
sure.
We get to
Yeah,
do
man.
something we
There's
love.
a lot of wins in it
Yeah.
without the
Outside
numbers
of
and
that.
shit. Like,
Bro,
exactly.
I
yeah.
feel like I'm on like borrowed time with all this stuff in
Yeah.
a weird way.
Nice.
Like, in the sense of like, I shouldn't be getting all these invites to go places for like sporting events and whatnot. Like, I'm not as credentialed as everyone else. And I had a phone call one time with this lady from this network, and she was like, "Damn, you're kind of like a nobody." And the way she meant it was
fuck?
like, the way she meant
Oh.
it
Yeah,
was
I
like, yo,
figured.
you're not a cast off of CBS
Yeah.
or Fox or whatever it is. Like, you're kind of building this thing up. But I
Nice.
took that as like, I love like receipts. I'm super petty. I love like, I relate
Me?
My nickname.
He
I'm Petty
pointed
Chetty.
at me.
Yeah, but who got the
Petty
most
Chetty.
receipts in this
Oh,
world?
that's
yeah,
facts.
you do.
That's
Yeah, you
facts.
This guy
I
will bring up
missed
a
the
combo
receipt.
you
Yeah,
had
yeah.
in 2013.
Yeah.
Actually, I just ran out of space on my
Yeah.
phone. They just said, and my phone offered me half of my space back,
Yeah.
deleting conversations. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Oh, you think he's a better point guard than him? And he'll wait. And he'll
Yeah,
wait
I'm
for
good.
it.
I
No,
need
but I
those.
like it. Like, yo, I really judge my friends on like, yo, if you come back at me, like, I really fuck with that.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to
I
like
agree.
call me out on shit. You
And
know,
I'm
like,
good. I'll be like, oh, you got it.
Yeah, but like, yeah, like, yo, everyone gets these bars, bro. Like, everyone
Yeah,
gets
I
attacked.
agree.
Everyone gets.
I agree.
Like,
I ain't scared of that
jumped
shit. I
on,
love
you know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I took that as like, damn, all right, nobody, say less, no problem. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and then I wore a shirt that just said nobody on
Yeah,
it. You know,
that's
when,
dope.
when I was in this documentary.
Damn, that's
I like that.
Spicy shit.
Yo, word, yo.
He just said,
Now, there's
oh,
so
word.
much that you guys,
Nobody?
you
Yeah,
guys sound so much alike.
Super
Like,
petty.
You got it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yo,
yeah.
seriously, man, you gotta just like, you gotta be like super like driven, son. And it's all cliche shit, right? And it
Yeah.
always feels weird talking like
It's
I
cliche
can't-
because it makes sense.
I was just about to
Yeah.
say, people keep saying the same shit because anyone you speak to about like actually having a successful show or anything like that, they say the same shit.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
just put your shit out there, just be consistent, keep doing it, no matter
Consistent,
what. Yeah, don't try to overthink it. Just
And yo, it's still
And that's
it's
what it
still
gotta
the
be.
funnest thing I do every week.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I enjoy doing it. I do it anyway, right? Like I watch sports anyway.
yeah.
Right.
Now I'm getting paid to do this, and I have people that care about what I have to say, and
Love it.
all these events that I could go to. It's like it's dope as hell.
That's
You know what I mean? So
You're
I
pretty much doing what you love.
still use that.
Yeah.
And my main thing was like, yo, I don't want to flip eggs anymore.
Yeah.
I used to have to wake up at 2:30 in the morning, son. Go into the city, work, come back to Long Island, shower, come back to Astoria, record,
Wow,
go
bro.
back. Dude, for like the longest time. It wasn't until this past September that I stopped working with my pops.
That's wild.
Where like I finally made real money.
Yeah,
Right.
And like, yo, when you're first starting, you're making no money, people are gonna shit on you. And
Yeah.
that just comes with it. You know what I mean? Like my parents
A
bro,
podcast.
it wasn't until like I signed that deal with the Win and I started working with the Win in Vegas and like doing all this shit with them where my dad was like, damn, good shit. It was like, oh, now
Nice.
it's good, right?
Yeah.
Like, being petty.
But yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
You know what it is?
Oh, now you love
honestly,
it, right?
though, honestly, it's a
Right.
rite of passage almost in a way.
Yeah.
Like
Of
life.
course.
Like, yeah, you got to go through those things to like prove to life almost that you're really about it. Because a lot of people are going to try it. Like you said before, you said a lot of people are going to try it and they're going to do 20 episodes and then they're going to back out.
Are your
Yeah.
parents
So then it's
first
like a rite of
generation?
passage. It's like,
What's up?
Were your parents first generation? Like, were they born here or did they come here?
Nah, well, my mom was born here. My dad is like off the boat.
That's
Greek.
why you're going to catch it.
Yeah, yeah. of
facts,
course, yeah.
facts.
Because
Show
they
and
want
prove,
they
bro.
want steady employment. You know this.
You
know.
ask my dad, what's it
Yeah.
mean to be successful? He goes like this. I told him one
Black
time.
and white. That's simple.
I told him one time he was
Type
on the
of guy.
couch. I was like, "Damn, Dad, I kind of feel like depressed. You know, I don't know what to do." He's like, "Depressed." He's like, "I've been depressed for 53 years." You know what I mean?
Some
Like,
man shit right
yeah,
there.
yeah, that's like the old school. So when I hear some conversation,
some
I'm
real
like,
guy
"Yo,
shit.
like that's not like my
It
dad
is.
was not being."
It's so toxic that I love them.
Yeah.
bro.
Shout out to your pops, man. Shout out to your pops.
Yo,
yo.
that's
100%.
You gotta cry about that.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love
He's
that.
like,
I
he's
love
like,
that.
bro,
man.
what you talking about, man? Fuck, get out my face.
Yeah.
But my mom was more coddling and shit.
Yeah.
But you know what? It comes with it, dude. Like, yo, just start. Be persistent. Be consistent. And like, yo, don't be afraid to ask, dude. Don't be
Dope.
afraid. Ask for guests, like,
Yeah.
Let's do it, man. Let's cheers to that.
and have fun.
Cheers
Yo,
to Veterans Minimum.
Pleasure having you
Nick,
here.
thanks
Yo,
again for
this
joining
was
us, man.
fun,
This is
dude.
awesome.
Yeah, thank you
Cheers.
so much.
One question before we sign out, though.
Let's do it.
On a scale of 9 to 10, how much of a horrible person is Tom Brady?
Yo, you know what's crazy? I can't answer that because I love Tom Brady. And you know why? Because my team took care of business when it mattered against him.
All right, that's a good
So
answer.
I got nothing against
That was
him,
the only
bro.
time in my life I really was a big Giants fan in that
Yeah,
Super Bowl,
yeah.
bro. I'm like,
I
let's
got-
go.
I usually don't do this, but I'm gonna pull out a quote from Tom Brady that I just happened to go through my phone today when I was
Oh,
trying to make
Jesus.
some more room
See?
in the memory.
No,
Petty.
Tom Brady's a
This is-
scumbag. I know from
Yeah,
personal
This is what he
This is
says.
a
Look,
pe- this is
look,
a very
you wanna-
petty-
yeah,
this is a petty
I'm gonna let
game.
him read it because he's
Very
the
petty.
better.
This is for the
We're really
Patreon,
gonna end
by
the
the
show
way.
with fucking Tom Brady's quote.
You get used to it. Every guy's penis looks the exact same. A man's a man, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen.
This guy kissed his son, man. I can't see that comment and think otherwise.
This is your goat.